The Power Pack Morning Zoo. Are you kidding me?
Fire!
It's the greatest radio show ever.
Good morning and welcome.
Dan Mickley,
Oh my God, he's from Chicago. That's amazing.
Vince Marotta,
Oh, why, even? Who's better than Ben?
and Jared Carlin.
It can only be Jared.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Marotta mornings. Time to go to work. Time to go to work.
Shout out to Dan Bickley, my boy. Him and Vince. Okay.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, Valley sports fans. Are you missing real sports? I am.
Well, the wait is coming to an
With
end.
Brian Gumble?
No, not that.
That was a great show,
just
by the way.
real sports, real like games and content. Look, I know the NBA All-Star break ended last night. No one told the Lakers though. Losing to the Charlotte Hornets.
Allowing
you
a
kidding me?
23-1 run to the Charlotte Hornets.
Are you kidding me?
It was the Mark Williams revenge game.
Yeah, so Vinny and I are in quite the mood today. So this is just buckle up, everybody. We don't know where the show is going today, to
I'll
be
be
quite honest.
honest. I've been in a mood for quite some time.
That is
I'm
true.
just glad you're joining me.
I think I've kind of caught up to you.
53 years?
53, yeah.
Yeah. My mood now matches your mood, and yeah, okay.
Day 3 of Newsmakers Week today, too.
It is. Yes,
We're
it is.
we're going to talk to James Jones in the 8 o'clock hour. Willie
Okay.
Bloomquist,
Very
Sun Devil
nice.
baseball head coach. Erik Moses from the Fiesta Bowl is going to join us. And we're going to catch up with Tommy Lloyd, whose team has gotten a lot better since the last time we talked.
Who suddenly I like again for some reason.
How about it? Yeah, you have not come around on Caleb yet, but
Well, yeah.
The Caleb Love experience
Yeah.
is the Caleb Love
Yeah,
experience.
it
I don't
is.
think that's ever going to change.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true.
If he could keep, the problem is you just feel that 3 of 18 game coming in
Yeah.
a big game in the tournament. And you got to somehow win one of those games in the tournament when he has a bad
Don't
game.
worry, though, because he's going to go like 14 for 18 against ASU at Tucson.
oh, you know that. You know that.
Part of my mood, I mentioned to this, I'm very worried about something. Apparently, I'm an outlaw. I keep getting these text messages that I'm guilty of toll evasion. Ben.
You're not the only one. It's a scam. It's everywhere.
Two different texts I got from email addresses. Neither one of them is from an Outlook account in France. One of them is from a Hotmail account.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The toll roads notice of toll evasion. You have an unpaid toll bill on your account. Listen, if you're going to be a scammer, at least do some research. You're really going to target people in Arizona. We haven't seen a toll road here ever.
It's true.
Screw you.
I get automated calls and voicemails all the time. Hey, it's Frank. I'm here to help you with your tax problems that you've been having.
Yeah, I get those too.
Yeah?
I get those calls all the time. Hey, listen, we know you owe the IRS a lot of money, so hey, if you need help, give me a call. What?
So I guess there's people that hear that and they just be like, I do? Oh, no.
Listen, yes.
You get the calls
There
on
are people that gullible.
the warranty on your car that you got rid of 12 years ago. You get that one?
I
Yep.
get that one too.
There are people that are that gullible.
Uh-huh.
And that's why scammers exist.
It's unbelievable that
unfortunately.
people. The funniest thing is that the spam emails still exist, and they've not improved at all in 20 years that they've existed.
Oh,
they
now-
still have like misspellings and
How
bad
did-
language.
How did human beings become so horrible? At what were we just destined to be this horrible?
Yeah. Now I'm going through it on Twitter too. I got those bots that followed me all summer long, and I just spent a lot of time blocking and reporting all of them. And now there's a new style you can tell from. So it's 2 American names mushed together with a Japanese last name and very similar. So in the last 24 hours, I've been followed by Bart Logan Onishi, Joris Leo Ikeda, Carol Frank Matsuo, Jesse Jordan Takada, Elijah Cameron Matsuo. They're all following me now.
Wow. Boy, do you have a
we-
global reach?
They
Now
have
that we're
zero combined followers.
well, we've blown up. I forgot to tell you guys now that we're broadcasting live on YouTube. We've blown up in Asia.
Have we?
So
We
don't
should.
think those are spam bots. They
Oh,
might be just new
big
fans.
Bart Logan Onishi is a huge fan of the Bickley Blast.
No doubt.
Thanks for the support, Bart Logan.
My goodness. My goodness.
Life stinks.
It's yes, it's so true. People are just the worst. Start the show, Jarrett.
The Splash. The stories making waves in the sports world. The Splash.
Cannonball coming.
The Splash, brought to you by Presidential Pools, Arizona's #1 pool builder. See why at presidentialpools.com.
Sorry, I forgot to mention Leander Lewis Cato, also a new follower. Welcome to my world.
That's
The
fantastic.
NBA All-Star break is officially over. Suns are back at it tonight in Austin, Texas. Keep Austin weird. Starting a 4-game road trip against the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs playing their annual games in Austin tonight and Saturday. Phoenix starts the second half of the schedule, even though it's well past the halfway point. 11th place in the Western Conference at 26-28. Spurs starting the second half in 12th at 23-39. Suns won the first meeting between these two teams 104-93 in Phoenix back on December 3rd. Pretty clean on the injury front for the Suns. Only Cody Martin, who's not played yet for his new team, out for tonight's game. On the Spurs side, Victor Wembanyama listed as doubtful with an illness.
Ooh.
Tonight's game gets going at 7:30. Of course, you can hear it here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app, beginning with pregame coverage at 6:30. As Bick mentioned, the league schedule resumed last night. Just one game, the Lakers dealt a home loss by the Charlotte Hornets, 100-97. LeBron James had 26 points but missed 2 threes in the closing seconds that could have tied things. Charlotte overcomes a 13-point deficit. They were led by Miles Bridges, who had 29, and LaMelo Ball, 27.
Speaking of the Lakers, did you hear what Rich Paul said during a podcast?
No.
That if he had rumblings of the Anthony Davis trade, it would not have happened. He would have stopped it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Welcome to L.A., Luca.
Yeah, exactly.
In the NFL, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles have a new offensive coordinator, pass game coordinator. Kevin Patullo gets the promotion to OC in the wake of Kellen Moore taking the head coaching job with the New Orleans Saints. Patullo worked with the Indianapolis staff from 2018 to 2020 when Nick Sirianni was there as OC, and followed him to Philadelphia in 2021. The league announced its 2025 team salary cap figure on Wednesday. The number jumps up to between $277.5 and $281.5 million, up from last year's figure of $255.4. This year's increase means the cap will have increased by at least $53 million over the last 2 years. Business is good in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Based on a salary cap in that range, the Arizona Cardinals will hit the offseason currently with the fourth most available cap space in the league at nearly $76.5 million, according to overthecap.com. NFL is heading to South America for the second straight season. The Chargers will open their season Friday, September 5th in Sao Paulo against an opponent that will be named later this offseason. The league's first ever game in Brazil was a week one affair between the Eagles and Packers, also in Sao Paulo. A game won by Philadelphia 34-29. I know this. In the history of the NFL, a team that has won in week one in Brazil is undefeated in winning the Super Bowl. Happens every time, Bick. Every
single
of the time.
Yeah.
The Four Nations face-off concludes tonight with the championship game. The United States taking on Canada for the title. The U.S. beat Canada 3-1 in a hotly contested round-robin matchup in Montreal last Saturday. That game, of course, featured 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of play. Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, and Brady Tkachuk are all expected to play for Team USA after missing time with injuries. The puck drops at TD Garden in Boston at 6 o'clock on ESPN. And yes, Cactus League Baseball starts today with the Dodgers hosting the Cubs at Camelback Ranch in Glendale, a game that gets underway at 1:05. Tomorrow, first full slate of games around the Valley, including the D-backs taking on the Rockies at Salt River Fields at 1:10, Corbin Burns starting against Colorado's Bradley Blaylock. And you can read Alex Weiner's piece about the Diamondbacks' optimism and Pavin Smith holding down the lefty DH position this season. Now on ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi. There is your splash for the day real sports comes back. February 20th, 2025. Coming up, the Suns are back and healthy. What can we expect as we begin the season's final stretch? That's where we're starting on this Thursday. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Cactus League is underway.
2-2. Swung on, hit in the air to right field. It's hit well. Back it goes. takes it with a monster two-run shot to right field.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey, it's Gambo, and I'm here with Stuart Willis, the president of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Stuart, we just had a change in administrations. How does that affect your clients' portfolios?
Well, you know, it's a question we get asked all the time. People want to know, should we invest here? Should we invest there? You know what I say? We use multiple money managers because we don't really know what the direction is going to go, and they all have different ideas. I think it's important to be diversified, to make sure that you have a group of competent money managers that can make those decisions.
So being diversified isn't just having your money in stocks and bonds. It's making sure that multiple money managers are looking at your portfolio so you are completely taken care of. Call Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax at 602-877-PLAN or go online at assetpreservationwealth.com for a free portfolio review. That's assetpreservationwealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor.
Hey, basketball fans, Tom Chambers here reminding you that just like in a game, you need a solid defense for your home. And that starts with a reliable roof from Right Way Roofing. Hey, Lori, as owner of Right Way Roofing, what sets you apart from the competition?
Our team tackles any roofing challenge from shingles to tile to foam roofing. We'll make sure your roof wins against the toughest opponents, rain, wind, and even those scorching summer days.
Make Right Way Roofing your MVP.
We're Right Way Roofing. We do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
The President's Day sales event is still going on at your Valley Chevy dealers. If you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, certified, pre-owned, or even electric, you owe it to yourself to check out your Valley Chevy dealers. Live life bigger in a new Blazer, or the award-winning Equinox, or the roomy and dependable Trax, where versatility meets agility. Don't miss out on the chance to drive yours away. See your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
So you're in pretty decent shape, but okay, as we get older, we lose a step. Totally natural part of being a guy. And at Vital for Men, we got your back by helping you get it back. Testosterone replacement therapy is designed to make you feel powerful, sharp, and renewed. Get started today with a free test at one of our 3 Valley-wide locations. And on top of that, we're excited to offer semaglutide to support your health journey even further. Visit Vital4Men.com today. Vital, the number 4men.com. It's time to get it back.
We all could use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Hey, it's Gambo. The Phoenix Suns are back in action tonight. Can they get past the Spurs if Victor Wembanyama isn't standing in their way? We'll discuss it, too, here on Arizona Sports.
I think it's going to be an electric time. I think people are excited for NBA basketball in Austin. Of course, they're going to come show out for the Spurs and a former Longhorn and myself, but I think it was any team coming here, they would be excited for basketball. And this city is a basketball city, so it's a beautiful arena now. It's fit for NBA basketball. So I think the Spurs may be playing a few games here in the future each year. I don't know for sure, but just bringing that NBA energy to this city is going to be amazing, so I'm glad we can kick it off.
That's Kevin Durant returning to where he played his 1 year of college basketball. Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
As a Longhorn, doing it now as a member of the Phoenix Suns. as they resume their schedule. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
No.
That was my fault. I should not be speaking when you are driving the show. I was just going to
Don't make me turn this car around, damn it.
Exactly. I was just going to notice Gamble once again. Did you hear that promo? That look ahead. The word
Hey,
back.
it's Gamble. The Phoenix Suns are back in action.
He's unbelievable with it. Any word back or bank or book, just he hits a gas pedal.
Gamble.
Back.
Where would you find the index? In the back of the book.
Bank? Bank, I'm sure.
Bank!
I'm sure he's used to saying bank. Book, not so much. But I mean, maybe talking about Devin.
Speaking of banks, so the Delta plane that flipped over on the runway in Toronto, so they're offering, and everybody survived miraculously. You watch the footage of it, and it's unbelievable. Delta offered every passenger $30,000. Would you take that?
Would I take it? Of course.
Well, I mean,
You mean, would I live through that to get that?
I think you would have to agree not to sue to take that money, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
That's probably the catch.
Yeah, I think that would be the catch.
By the way, are we in the weirdest rash of airplane-related accidents and crashes and
I've never seen anything like it.
Seems like every day there's a headline.
It is. It's amazing. I think there's been
plane crash in Marana yesterday.
I think there's been
That's right.
11 or 12 plane crashes in this year since January.
And here's another reason why I hate the internet. So after that plane in Toronto flipped over on the runway, okay, there was a link on the internet. And I noted this down. The headline was "Plane may have crashed on the Toronto runway." And I looked at it and I said, "May? What do you think is going on with that airplane right there? Do you think someone's teaching it to roll over like a dog?"
It's a party trick.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail the show, but that is something that I thought was interesting.
I am open for derailment today.
Good. Yes, me too.
Why stop at plane accidents when we can go to derailments and affect the train industry as well?
All right, so back to Austin, Texas, and the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant.
Yeah, the Spurs will play 2 games there. Tonight is the first game. Suns could be catching a break. Victor Wembanyama listed as doubtful to play after he played in the All-Star festivities. There's a lot going around. A lot of people sick at this time, so they might be catching a break. And let's be honest. If the Suns want to come close to accomplishing a goal in these last 28 games, they're going to have to catch breaks. They didn't necessarily take advantage of such breaks in terms of the opposition's injury report before the All-Star break, but you have to beat a team that does not have Victor Wembanyama on the court tonight.
I agree with that because we're at that stage now where they're under 500. They've got to make up ground. And in a bigger picture, it's do they really care about salvaging this season? And I think that all begins tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy. On December 4th, the Suns were tied for the number 5 seed in the Western Conference, and ASU basketball was 8-1, with their only loss a close one at Gonzaga. Lots changed since then, Vinny.
A lot has changed. We played Kevin Durant talking at the All-Star break with his media availability. He was asked about, hey, what can turn this thing around for the Suns? He was asked that same question in his media availability in Austin yesterday.
Just get back to the fundamentals, man, of simply boxing out, rebounding. I think we play solid defense, but we give up offensive rebounds. You give a team in this league 2 or 3 chances to score, they're going to usually do it. So initially we play good defense. We got to do a better job of boxing out and keeping the ball in our hands. And I think that those small, subtle changes, you'll see a change in our game as well.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about it and said, yes, what he's saying is true, but when you're talking about fundamentals at this point of the season, there's a fundamental problem with the team. Can they flip a switch and play with more urgency in those areas? If they can, they're going to win games. They have not shown the ability to consistently do that.
Yes.
And here's a really, really damning figure. You talked about December 4th. We all know the Suns started the season 9-2.
Mm-hmm.
Then the first wave of injuries came, and they came back down to earth very quickly. But since those 11 games, they've played 43. So I went over and I looked at the Western Conference records for every team in their last 43 games.
Mm-hmm.
And that trend is even worse for the Suns than you would think.
Really?
They are 13th in the Western Conference in their last 43 games.
Ooh.
17 and 26. The only two teams with worse records in 43-game spans, Utah and New Orleans, both 10 and 33.
Yeah.
And those are teams that are playing out the string and are going to be in full. I mean, Utah's been on full-on tank mode all season long. So, yeah, Portland, San Antonio have better records than the Suns in their last 43 games.
Yeah, and when we talked about this without even knowing the data, that made sense to me. In fact, going into the All-Star break, those were the only two teams in the Western Conference that I could convincingly say were worse than the Phoenix Suns. And that is something that they got to change. And you know what? There are flaws with this roster that I think are going to be very difficult for the team to overcome. But when you talk about urgency, you can apply that to defense. You can up your level of compete on defense just by trying harder.
Well, it shows up in a couple areas, most notably for me, especially over the last month. It's been transition defense, where there's just, especially off a live ball turnover, there's just not a whole lot of busting it back to make things difficult. We've seen this team struggle mightily to close out on three-point shots when an opposing team has a good offensive possession. Ball finds itself to the corner. And look, that's the way basketball is right now. Can you contest every shot? No. But it's been an issue for this team. And I just don't know personnel-wise. Like, if you look at, again, what's going to change over the last 43 games? The standings are very similar to what I broke down. The Suns are kind of the outlier. They're the team that has, I think, the biggest difference. They're 11th in the regular standings, 13th in the 43-game standings. What's going to change? Well, for the Suns, there's no major roster change that can influence things. You look at teams like, the Lakers made a major roster change. It's not going so well so far. Dallas made a major roster change. Not going so well for them. San Antonio made a major roster change. I think they're probably the team that could benefit most, but they're on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at with this whole thing. So tonight's going to be a very interesting gauge of just their competitiveness, their compete level. Because you listen to Kevin Durant, you listen to the Suns talk, and they sound like they all make it seem like, okay, it's just the little things. It's the details. It's the little things.
But a lot of little things add up to big problems.
They sure do. And so there's a lot on the line here, whether they want to believe that or not, in terms of how they are going to be perceived and what the future is going to look like. We had this conversation yesterday. What figures are you most wanting to watch and hone in on starting tonight? And it's Katie and Book for different reasons. And
I'm throwing Beal in that mix too.
And so am I. And speaking of throwing Beal in the mix, do you think Mike Budenholzer has a surprise and puts him back in the starting lineup?
I think it's time.
Yeah, but I just think that they made that decision and that's what's going to happen.
Well, I think they made that decision to make him want out, is what I think.
I think it certainly was pushing in that direction. Now, when they made that decision, it was two starters that went to the bench, and Beal and Nurkic is no longer here. And I think you might have been onto something, too, when you said you don't want to single out one player as the reason for the issues.
Right.
There's been no marked improvement. Since they made those moves.
It hasn't worked in any discernible way.
Yeah. So if Bradley Beal is part of your future, and he most assuredly is,
whether you want it or not,
you might want to invest in his happiness at this point in time.
Look, and the drumbeat for Tyus Jones finding his way to the bench is getting louder among Suns fans too. So, yeah, a lot to look out for tonight. We will talk to James Jones a little bit after 8 o'clock. So, Bickley Blast coming, and then James Jones to kick off day 3
Should
of
I blast on
Newsmakers
James
Week.
Jones, make things really awkward?
Too late.
That would be interesting. Coming up next, the Diamondbacks are getting close to playing actual games, and we'll give you the latest from D-backs spring training. Next, it's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on this Thursday. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
All-Star break over. Now the Suns meet the Spurs in San Antonio. CP3 and Wemby joined by De'Aaron Fox, so the Spurs got stronger after that trade, which is great for the Western Conference where the Suns are concerned. Fantastic. Will the Suns be able to contain Wemby, Fox, and the Spurs? Is everyone on the Suns healthy? Is everyone on the Suns cool after some folks almost got traded? Suns at the Spurs, 6:30 pregame, 7:30 tip right here. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Southwest Gas supports the lifestyle of Arizonans. Hi, it's Vince Marotta, and whether it's cooking a traditional meal, providing hot water for invigorating showers, or creating the ambiance for family gatherings, Southwest Gas proudly fuels our homes and our communities with a safe and reliable natural gas service. Did you know more than 92% of Arizona customers prefer natural gas service in their homes to power appliances? But natural gas is way more than an essential ingredient in the home. It supports economic development and growth in the community. Southwest Gas Holdings is at the forefront of that. Southwest Gas Holdings has been recognized on Newsweek's list of the world's most trustworthy companies, ranking in the top 2% among publicly listed companies worldwide. Time has recognized Southwest Gas Holdings as one of America's best mid-sized companies for 2024 for its commitment to employee satisfaction, revenue growth, and sustainable transparency. Southwest Gas is an energy partner that prioritizes trust, community, reliability, and safety. You can discover more about these recognitions and learn how Southwest Gas is dedicated to excellence by visiting swgas.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
My friends that own small businesses are all drowning in tax paperwork this winter. So I tell them to let TaxFile take care of their taxes and just focus on their customers. That's TaxFile with a Y, F-Y-L-E. TaxFile connects small business owners with licensed accountants who sweat the details. TaxFile's customers swear they saved them days of busy work. They say TaxFile was more responsive too. Go to taxfyle.com/radio and get their best offer. Taxfile.com/radio.
All right, Basinonians, Ron Wolfley here. Don't wait another year wishing you had custom shades. Do what I did and call All Pro Shade Concepts. They're celebrating 20 years in 2025 with free estimates, complimentary installation, and they will cover your sales tax. I use roll-down shades to keep the cold air out and turn my patio into another room. And when summer comes, their retractable awnings block the sun and add backyard shade. Visit allproshadeconcepts.com and tell them Wolf sent you.
Get ready for a Big 12 showdown Wednesday, February 26th at 7:30 p.m. when the Sun Devil men's basketball team takes on the BYU Cougars at Desert Financial Arena.
Here's Alston Mason on the dribble. Over to Adam Miller for 3. Bullseye!
Don't miss your chance to see the high-flying action. Get your Sun Devil men's basketball versus BYU tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
There's going to be a lot more games that tickets get to that price. So if you want to be a part of them, you better buy season tickets. You better do it right now. You better sell it out because we're going to have a lot more games where this state wants to show up to. Buy your season tickets. Let's make that every single week of next year. Because why would you not want to be in that environment? That's one of the most fun places to be in college football. Why would you not want to do that every Saturday?
Get your Sun Devil football tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating,
Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Suns are back in action tonight for the first time after the All-Star break. The upcoming stretch is going to be tough. 4 games in 6 days, all on the road, beginning tonight in Austin, Texas, against the Spurs. Kevin Durant, who played a year at the University of Texas, is still a fan favorite there. Some injuries of note. The Suns' debut of Cody Martin, acquired at the trade deadline, is pushed back. He's out with a sports hernia. And Spurs big man Victor Wembanyama is doubtful with an undisclosed illness. Tip-off is 7:30. You can hear it all right here on Arizona Sports 98.7. and the Arizona Sports app. If you're a hockey fan, tonight is your night. It's the final of the Four Nations tournament between Team USA and Canada in Boston. Face-off is 6 o'clock. The U.S. won the first meeting in Montreal 3-1 on Saturday. Mike Ruzioni, the team captain of the 1980 Miracle on Ice Olympic team, was in Montreal for that first game and spoke to the U.S. team. And a couple of guys with Valley ties will be key for Team USA, Matthew Tkachuk and Austin Matthews. Saturday's matchup featured 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. The puck drops at 6. The Diamondbacks open Cactus League play tomorrow when the D-backs host the Rockies. The big free agent acquisition, Corbin Burnes, is going to be on the mound. The 4-time All-Star and Cy Young winner pitched almost 200 innings last year in 32 starts. 110 is the first pitch. This report is brought to you by CW Arizona. Get revved up for the NASCAR Xfinity Series on CW, live from Atlanta Motor Speedway, Saturday at 2:30 only on CW7 Arizona.
Hey everybody, it's Burnsy. So which Diamondbacks hitter are we the most curious about this spring? The Burns and Gambo Show. It's from 2 to 6, and it's here on Arizona Sports.
It's incredible. I think our team top to bottom is really scary. Yeah. Really scary. I don't think we have holes in our team. I think we're really solid and complete with where we are, and I think, I've heard the front office talking about adding pieces, and if they do that, that'd be incredible, but I don't know if we need it. Whatever the decision they decide to make, we're going to be in a good spot. I think our bullpen, we have the options to close. We don't need a closer. If we got a closer in the open market, it'd be awesome. If we don't get one, we will be fine.
That is Ryan Thompson back on Valentine's Day, visiting with Wolf and Luke out at Salt River Fields. We'll get our first look at the D-backs, an actual baseball game tomorrow against the Rockies. Corbin Burnes making his Diamondbacks debut.
Birdsey!
It'll probably be an inning, 20 pitches at the most. But hey, welcome to February baseball and spring training.
Yeah.
But Ryan Thompson there saying we don't feel like we have a hole. It's interesting, Bick, because there's so much talk about baseball wide, and Rob Manfred was just in town, and Tony Clark was just in town, the head of the Players Association, and there's so much hand wringing about spending, and it's kind of a problem in 22 to 25 major league markets right now.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix and Arizona, not one of those markets. The Diamondbacks spent the 3rd most free agent money this offseason. They made one of the splashiest signings in Corbin Burnes, adding a top flight number 1 starter to an already good rotation. I was thumbing through social media this morning as I was getting out of my grogginess from waking up at 3:30 a.m., and there was an Instagram video, and Chris Rose, who does a lot of work for MLB Network, was having a discussion, and the question they posed, are the Diamondbacks better than the New York Yankees? The Yankees were the American League champs. They got their heads handed to them pretty much in the World Series after that meltdown inning. But I thought that was interesting because the Yankees are one of those teams that's always going to spend. And the consensus was, we think they're a better team than the Yankees, but the Yankees have a better chance to get to the World Series because of what's not standing in their way in the American League. And what's not standing in their way is the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, I think what you're saying here is a reflection of what the Diamondbacks have become in the last couple of years, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, they have become they're acting like a big market baseball franchise. It's why I say that Ken Kendrick is now the best professional sports owner in Arizona. A guy that has been polarizing, and as Mike Hazen once said, a guy that for many, many years people complained that he was cheap, that he wouldn't spend money. And Mike Hazen's like, I don't even know where that ever came from, but it's certainly not true, and it's certainly not true this year. So I'm really stoked about this. It's good to have an organization acting like a big time organization.
Totally agree.
So I'm stoked about that.
And I know ESPN Radio this morning, before we went on the air on Sportsmanlike, they were having the conversation about, this time of the year, if you're a baseball fan, regardless of what city you're in, it's a magical time. But that magic is on a scale because the reality is there's probably 20-plus teams that know they don't have a chance to compete because they haven't spent.
Mm-hmm.
And the fan base is faced with that. All right, here we go. It's February now. We're going to go to October with just a daily reminder that we're not all that competitive. So for the Diamondbacks to be in this spot for really, I don't think, I think they were ahead of schedule in 2023 when they got to the World Series. We can agree on that, right?
Yes.
This is the second straight spring training where there's massive expectations on this team. And they failed in meeting those expectations last year, and I think that's very, very present on everybody's mind going into this year.
All right, so what's even better from my perspective is all across baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers have become the New York Yankees. They're kind of like the new evil empire. Back in the day, it was George Steinbrenner and the Yankees. Everybody complained about the spending of the Yankees compared to the rest of the league. Oh, everybody goes to the Yankees. So the Dodgers now are the modern day evil empire in Major League Baseball from the runaway spending mentality and from that viewpoint. We in Arizona should be one of the cities most negatively affected by that because we share a division, we share a border, we share a hatred for each other. And thankfully, we're not victims here. We're in that game against them, and we've got a playoff series win against them. Now, they got the championship last year, but to me, it's very comforting that the Dodgers now are being universally hated across a country full of baseball fans for what they're doing and the loopholes and the spending and the deferred money and all of that. And yet here in Arizona, a place that should feel that the worst, we're good. And you listen to the baseball players, from Kevin Ginkel to Corbin Burns to Ryan Thompson, who said, what other team has 7 starting pitchers like we do? They're very, very confident. And I don't think it's talk yourself up kind of confident. I think they look across and go, we're loaded here. Now, like any team, you remember the injury parade last year. That's the one thing you hope for the Diamondbacks, that this rotation, that the depth that they have becomes a luxury and not a necessity. That's what you hope.
Yeah, and look, newsflash, injuries are coming. It just happens.
Mm-hmm.
The Diamondbacks right now, I mean, everybody's lauding, and you just mentioned it, 7 starting pitchers. One of them's already injured. Jordan Montgomery's dealing with a finger issue. It's minor. It's February. Still, he's being counted on to improve what he did last year because he's going to be part of this team. There's another player I'm interested in from a position player standpoint. He had a very frustrating year last year, and that was Alek Thomas, who got hit with the injury bug, was up and down when he got his opportunities at the major league level, didn't produce offensively. So I think there's a lot of eyes on him. I think there's a lot of people that are surprised that the outfield mix didn't change with Gurriel in left.
Yeah.
And Thomas and McCarthy now in center, Corbin Carroll in right, and Grichuk kind of being that 5th guy along with Pavin Smith. But I did not expect both McCarthy and Thomas to be back.
People kind of thought that's where they were going to get either their closer or DH.
Yeah.
Was they were going to move one of the outfielders.
And Alek Thomas joined Wolf and Luke yesterday, and he talked about, all right, so they did lose a leader in the clubhouse, certainly Christian Walker. How do you replace that? But where is Alek Thomas leaning on from a player standpoint in terms of getting leadership?
In the past, it could have been, or it was, Christian Walker. And, he was great, a great person, great teammate. And then now I feel like just being in camp, I feel like being able to talk to everyone and tell them, how my year went or how I feel now, and listening to what people have went through. And I think Jake is someone that I've talked to recently about everything, and then even just now, like Kyle Nelson as well. So being able to talk to everyone and get their perspective on everything, and it's cool. So I would say everyone, really. I think everyone can be a good use for me and getting information from everyone.
And Alek Thomas leaning on Jake McCarthy, I think that's interesting because those two guys, obviously both outfielders, both have, I think, similar skill sets. McCarthy is the better offensive player. Thomas is the better defensive player. But doesn't it seem like to you, Bick, that those are two players the Diamondbacks haven't been able to get production out of at the same time? Either one of them
Yes,
is good and one of them is struggling.
Absolutely.
Thomas was great in the World Series run. McCarthy got hurt at the beginning of that playoff run.
McCarthy was great in July and August.
Yes.
Thomas couldn't hit. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's kind of weird how that's lined up.
And Alek Thomas is such a easy guy to root for. You want him to succeed, but this is a big year for him, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think this is the year for him. Make or break kind of stuff for him.
I would agree. Multi-platinum artist and Arizona native Dierks Bentley has announced he'll be coming to Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater on June 20th for the Broken Branches Tour. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. You can win a pair right now by visiting the contest page at arizonasports.com, presented by Y-Refi. Coming up next, will tonight's Four Nations face-off game, which we're now down to two nations, will it be another shining moment for hockey? We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
50 to the players, 25. I'll go 25 and 25. I'll be that fair. 25% to the coach, 25% to the front office. I'm going to keep it simple.
Tell me why.
There's no way in the world that a team with the talent of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker should be 2 games under 500 and in 10th place.
I had it 40-30-30. 40 players, 30% coaching, 30% front office.
Okay.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Life Changer Loan, and I've got a simple question for you. If you could pay off your mortgage in 5 years without changing a penny of your spending habits, would you do it? Of course you would, and this is why if you're buying a house, if you're looking to refinance, you should check out Life Changer Loan. This is an innovative program that combines your banking with your mortgage. You actually do your banking inside your mortgage. Every deposit you make pays off the principal of your mortgage. You're going to wake up down the road and that mortgage is going to be gone. 5 years is the average length of time it takes a Life Changer Loan client to pay off that 30-year fixed rate mortgage. And when that happens, you get decades to build personal wealth. That is how you get ahead. You also get 24/7 access to your equity, which gives you great liquidity. You get the power to pay down, pay off, borrow back whenever you want. This is a great idea. Also, if you're nearing retirement and you do not want a mortgage payment in your fixed income years. Now, you might think, Bick, this sounds too good to be true. They hear that all the time at Life Changer Loan. Like they say it's not magic, it's just math, but you do have to have the right financials. This is not for everybody, but if you are a good fit, I guarantee you're going to love the results. Find out more by calling 480-504-0844, online at lifechangerloan.com.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And with you on our side, we are going to end animal cruelty around the globe. Humane World for Animals, the end of animal cruelty.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the Union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles. Net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks. And save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and flex buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
Hey, it's Luke. The Four Nations face-off final between the U.S. and Canada goes down tonight. How quickly will the gloves come off in this one? How quickly will somebody say, sorry? We get going at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke, on Arizona Sports.
The way that game was played with the emotional investment on both sides, it's just such an indication of how much these guys care and what this means to them. There's a lot of pride at stake, and it will be a hard-fought battle. That's what I would anticipate. So I think it's a great celebration of hockey.
But hey, as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
Let's do that hockey. Tonight at TD Garden in Boston. That was Mike Sullivan, the head coach of Team USA. It does go down tonight. And how about that Canadian accent from Luke Lipinski in the look-aheads? Should he be sorry for that, Jared?
On the list of things you should be sorry for.
Sorry.
Near the bottom.
Sorry. It's sorry.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I said that a shining moment. So far, this tournament has been a shining moment for the sport of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And full disclosure, with the Coyotes no longer being in town, my intake, my consumption of National Hockey League action this year has been very, very small. In fact, it's been limited to what's been on the TVs at the sports bar that I'm at.
Is that right?
That's basically it.
Okay.
But I did watch a lot of the Canada-U.S. game. And, again, advantage hockey because it was going up against the terrible All-Star festivities that the NBA was putting on. But there is something about, and this is not new, this is when international hockey tournaments with NHL players go on, it creates a buzz that we don't see normally in the sport.
Yes.
And there is certainly a buzz for this. When you got exhibition matches, and that's what this is, 3 fights in 9 seconds, my jaw was agape watching that. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
It was stunning. It was all Sunday morning. It was all anybody I ran into wanted to talk about, and everybody I know had the exact same experience. That the word on the street, people were buzzing over what happened in that exhibition hockey game. And like I said, having it juxtaposed to the flatlining NBA All-Star game amplified the effect. Like I said, there is a lot in this mix of why that game went down the way it did. But what it did accomplish is it has set up this game tonight, which is the end of an exhibition tournament. This feels like Game 7 of a playoff series.
It does.
The amount of heat that is in this hockey game tonight, the scene. I would watch this game tonight. If you're a sports fan who doesn't generally watch hockey, I would tell you to watch tonight's game just for what it's going to be like. To have this thing in Boston is really going to further amplify the effect of all of this.
Well, and there's so much nationalism involved in it, and there's controversy because of the reasons for the nationalism. I mean, Drew Doughty, who plays for the Los Angeles Kings, but Canadian, talked about this on TNT.
Hagel said there was no way he was going to back down. You have a long history with Matthew Tkachuk. The minute that he entered the league, if you were to challenge you on Thursday, would you go him?
You're putting me on the spot, Biz. I mean, I'll do anything for my country, and if the time is right and I got to go him, I guess so.
Now here's analyst Ray Ferraro, the former great Islander, Bick. Pat LaFontaine.
My bossy.
Glenn Healy. What he expects tonight in Boston for the USA versus Canada game.
Oh, I hope it's the same as it was in Montreal. I was standing between the benches. You could literally feel your feet moving. The building was just rocking before the game even started. Then there were the 3 fights in 9 seconds. I don't know that we'd get that again, but I would suspect TD Garden will be the same. I mean, it's an amazing place to watch hockey. It has incredibly passionate fans. There will be Canadian fans there. The U.S. fans will be supporting the U.S. as well. And when this event was in conception, I think everybody felt the way that this could be a success is if Canada and the United States play in the final game. And the roads were different to get here. But here we are. Thursday's going to be an immense night for hockey, and it's really cool to see this sport grab the momentum of the media and the headlines over the last 10 days. It's been awesome.
And Ray Ferraro says he expects it to be the same in Boston. I expect it to be ramped up even more.
Oh, yeah.
It's on American soil. And
definitely.
The reason for a lot of this heat back and forth is political. It's unavoidable. But one thing I can say about American citizens, still, I think, in the year 2025, it doesn't matter what your politics are. Nobody likes to hear their national anthem booed in unison by a big crowd.
Right.
That's going to ramp up the energy and passion and quite honestly, probably the vitriol in Boston tonight to a different level.
So I wonder what happens when they play the Canadian national anthem tonight. Is there that response? Yeah. I mean, listen, this has always been
a lot of pressure on those anthem singers.
Oh, how about it? How about it?
I mean, it's normally very high. It's ramped up by like 100 tonight.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's funny. You've got a country that invented hockey, that believes it is their birthright, that cares about hockey the way Americans care about football, right? That's how big that sport is in Canada. I mean, it is life in Canada. So to lose to the United States in this current political climate, right, where they're hearing that they should become the 51st state, like, you're not worthy of being your own country. Come join us.
Man, I thought Canadians were pissed when the joke was going around that they were America's hat. Start talking about statehood.
So the heat is very, very real, and you're right. And the Tkachuk brothers, they became their reputations went to another level, not just for dropping gloves in succession in the first matchup, but for the high five they gave each other. When one brother joined the other brother in the penalty box, people were going nuts about it.
Well, there's two things also about this. Like, first of all, as you mentioned, that country loves hockey more than anything, and they never, ever, ever, ever win in hockey in the NHL.
Right.
Which has got to be killing them.
It does.
So it's these international things that they at least get a championship in. And what the NHL has done with this tournament, and you keep saying it's an exhibition, is they have made it more than an exhibition. While it doesn't count as an NHL game, so it's an exhibition technically, what they're playing for is a championship that they actually care about.
I'll take it a step further. This hockey game that is being played tonight will probably be the most important hockey game we have seen. I don't know how many years I want to attach to it. It'll certainly be the most important one of the season because of what this can do for American hockey. Because people are engaged now. This isn't just the puckheads. These are casual fans now who are drawn to this story because of that scene that went down. And now there's a lot of pressure on this to kind of be duplicated. And it's interesting in listening to Biz's question there. I wonder if there's pressure for more fisticuffs.
Yeah, that's interesting too, especially because that's something that the NHL has sort of tried to back away from over the last couple of decades.
Yes,
and that's what everybody remembered from the last time it was those 3 fights in 9 seconds.
Yeah, look, if this tournament was played in February of 2024, we're not having these discussions.
No,
this is for the guy that got in the fight. And his name is escaping me from the Canadian side. The first fight, Hagel, I think it was.
That's it.
He said this was not for the cameras. This was for the flag.
Right.
Nothing's changed between Saturday and now, other than the location. This is must-see TV.
Without a doubt. And there's a ton of pressure on the Canadians to win this because this is their sport. And if the U.S. beats them again for an exhibition tournament, this thing is going to hit hard. I remember covering the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, and the Team USA had a really good team that year. Brett Hull, Mike Modano, all those guys. And the Canadians were really, really afraid. That was the year Wayne Gretzky famously put a dollar coin, at the bottom of the rink before they laid the ice down, before they filled the rink. And I remember the press conference after Canada won the gold that year, the relief that they felt. it's going to be the same thing tonight. And the fact that this is an exhibition tournament, I had forgotten just how much the NHL had fumbled at their attempt to make their All-Star game good, because they did some goofy stuff too.
Yeah, because that was something that when it got goofy, people just stopped watching altogether. If you're a casual fan,
They had like 3-on-3 mini tournament kind of things, and like
when no one's playing defense and the final score is 14-12,
right?
It's not hockey. This
like
is,
they say in hockey, Bick. Let's do that hockey.
Just tell me Kevin Hart isn't going to be part of the proceedings tonight.
Please.
Okay?
That's where it should all start.
Yes.
Coming up next, we are in Newsmakers Week 2025, Day 3, but we're going to rewind to Day 2. Yesterday, we were joined by Arizona State head football coach Kenny Dillingham. We're going to replay that interview for you. Coming up next, Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You can't use the old excuse about not having enough storage because we know you've got the cloud. Download the Arizona Sports app and keep it on your home screen for breaking sports news, all the Arizona sports shows and podcasts. Plus, listen to the Suns, D-backs, ASU athletics, and more on your phone. The Arizona Sports app is presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and as sports fans, we all know winning on the court is great and all, but winning in court is essential, especially if you've been injured in an accident, and that is why if that ever happens to you, you choose the attorneys at Sweet James. Here's why. Number one, Sweet James used to work defending insurance companies. So did many of his attorneys. They were all disgusted by how predatory and evil insurance companies have become, taking advantage of everyday people at their weakest moments, and now they use that passion, that experience, that knowledge to give injured victims a voice. Secondly, they're one of only a few firms that have attorneys with experience in over 500 trials. That gives Sweet James Accident attorneys incredible leverage when dealing with those insurance companies. When they send a demand letter on your behalf, those insurance companies know they cannot play games or nickel and dime Sweet James, not when they're willing to tell your story in court. It's why they don't just win. They win big. They consistently deliver some of the largest settlements in Arizona. This is the firm you want in your corner if you're ever injured in an accident. 1-800-9-MILLION, 1-800-900-0000, sweetjames.com.
Global Credit Union. Everything a bank offers, but better. Dave Burns here. With Global Credit Union, you'll see benefits you might not get at a traditional bank. And my favorites, early access to direct deposit funds. You can use your direct deposited paycheck up to 3 days in advance. So treat yourself to better banking this holiday season. Stop into one of their 12 branches or go to globalcu.org to open an account today. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities. Free checking and no monthly maintenance fee. Only apply to core checking accounts. Direct deposit required for early payday. Other fees may apply.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Weekends now through March 30th. Be ready to have a great time. Amazing adventure awaits the entire family. New shows, shopping, jousting nights, non-stop feasting. Leave your cares behind. Happiness reigns at the Renaissance Festival. It's fun and affordable. You'll love the Renaissance. Visit now through March 30th. Discount tickets available at Bashers' and Food City or online at arizona.renfestinfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines, Bashers', Food City, Pepsi, Budweiser, and Guinness. Huzzah!
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
Are you afraid of running out of money in retirement? If so, you're not alone. In fact, studies show it's people's #1 concern, but there is a solution. Canvas Annuity offers a retirement savings product with one of the most competitive crediting rates in the country, up to 6.2% per year. The best part is you can get access to these industry-leading rates online in a few simple steps by visiting canvasannuity.com. Great rates, simple online products.
KMBP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. If you like hockey, you're going to love tonight. It's the final of the Four Nations tournament between Team USA and Canada. It's in Boston. Face-off at TD Garden is 6 o'clock. The U.S. won the first meeting in Montreal 3-1 on Saturday. The team watched the movie Miracle, based on the U.S. Olympic victory over the Soviet Union in 1980, dubbed The Miracle on Ice. The puck drops at 6 tonight. The Suns are back on the floor tonight, taking on the Spurs in Austin, Texas. Forward Kevin Durant, who played his year of college basketball for UT, should get a nice welcome for the fans, where he's still a favorite. The Suns' debut of Cody Martin's going to have to wait. He has a sports hernia, and Spurs big man Victor Wembanyama is doubtful with an undisclosed illness. You can hear all the action here on Arizona Sports 98.7. Tip-off at 7:30. The Cubs and Dodgers open spring training today at Camelback Ranch. The two will open the regular season in Japan. And the Diamondbacks play tomorrow. Corbin Burns is going to be on the mound for the D-backs. The four-time All-Star and former Cy Young winner signed a 6-year, $210 million deal in the offseason. This report is brought to you by APS. Visit APS Solutions for Business for ways to help your business make smarter use of energy while saving money. Schedule a free consultation today.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona State University.
Yeah, time to talk some ASU football during Newsmakers Week 2025 as we check in with the head coach of the Big 12 champion Sun Devils, Kenny Dillingham, joining us for Newsmakers Week 2025. Kenny, good morning. How are you?
Kenny!
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. How's I imagine an off season as the Big 12 champion beats the heck out of last year's off season. How's it gone so far for you this off season?
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to both, for sure. I mean, now everybody thinks that, we should just instantaneously, win 12 games, 11 games every year. So that's exciting. But the reality for us is, it's a new season. It was a great season. It was great memories. But we got to move on as a football team. The fans can still celebrate. I'm great about that.
Yeah.
But we have to move on as a program.
You hit on something that a lot of longtime ASU fans, yourself being one, you're very familiar with, and that is the sustaining of success for this football program. Through your eyes now, in your office, what is the biggest key to, in your mind, prevent this from being a blip of success and to sustain it?
Yeah, I think is how do you create the emotional investment that our guys had last year, our staff had last year, the mindset of every game we were counted out. How do you get that emotional investment back again? And it's not back again on Saturday, week 3, week 1. It's back again on Tuesday during gassers. Mm-hmm. How do you get that emotion back? And I think that's the challenge this offseason is, can we get our guys to be as emotionally invested, our coaches to be as emotionally invested as we were last year? Because I feel like that vulnerability that our guys had last year really bonded them together, and it grew the football team.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to replace. It's a hard thing to duplicate. It's a hard thing to get in any sports team, and you guys were able to pull that off. When you take a look and you're talking with recruits now, what has changed? What did last year do to the perception of ASU football in the minds of people you're recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole different, last year it was all, this is our process, this is what we're going to be, this is what we're about. We're about being a good person, we're about making good decisions, we're about having more fun, working harder than anybody in the country. And people said, well, I still want to win. Are fans going to show up? You know, I go to games and they're 50% sold out last year. Like, are fans going to show up? Are you guys going to win? It all sounds good. I like you. This year, we had 2 field rushes. Yeah, fans show up. Great. Are there good environments? Oh, yeah, we sold out. We had the largest student section back-to-back weeks in the history of the program. We have more season ticket sales. Can you guys win? We just did. So all these questions that people had about our program, it's like, okay, well, what about the sanctions? Well, they're over, essentially. We have a little bit left, but it's basically ending. We're just checking boxes of things that usually people kind of tear down this program with. And I think the investment from the community, the fans, season ticket sales, all of that is it's huge. And to be able to show those environments here in Tempe, it's a huge thing when we're talking recruiting.
Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, our guest here during Newsmakers Week. Obviously, the state of college football now is, even after a successful season, I think there's a lot of fans that are holding their breath and wondering, all right, who's going to leave the program? Who's going to be lured away? Yet, after you guys performed so well in the college football playoff, fans were met with this parade of players announcing that they're coming back. And it starts with Sam Leavitt, the quarterback, and it continues with Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver. And those guys are so tight. I mean, I see them around town. I attend a Suns game sitting in the front row. What does their partnership/friendship mean to the whole culture for ASU football moving forward, as you see it, Kenny?
Yeah, those 2 guys, Xavier Alford, Skrilla, Ben, Jacob Kandika, CJ Fight, Clayton Smith, Prince Dorba, Crook, Keyshawn. I mean, I could go on with the guys who had opportunities to leave that want to be here. Those 2 particularly, I think they're both guys who nobody knew about Sam, and people knew that Jordan had a good freshman year, but there was a lot of question marks, and they kind of came on the map together. So I think that relationship really built. But what I think it shows with all these guys choosing to come back, and especially nowadays in college sports, is guys can leave whenever they want. So when your best players are really still recruits, so they have a choice to be there or not. So when your best players are choosing to stay here, it means they have real relationships. They really actually enjoy the school. They actually enjoy the city. Like, they actually are members of the community of the Valley. They're one of the people. They're one of us. Like, they want to be here. And I think in today's day and age in college sports, having a group of guys that truly want to be here is pretty special, and I do not take it lightly. I spend more time with our own players than I do recruiting. Because I truly believe in that model. I believe that you pour into the people who want to be here. And I think that all these guys coming back is pretty special.
Yeah.
Having a vested coaching staff the way you do, the guys who are doing it for the right reasons, you've talked about the great diversity. You've got some guys who've come from high school and they're ready to sweep the floor for you at the end of practice if you need it. You've got guys like Hines Ward all the way down the line. What does that mean in helping build that special kind of day-to-day bond that you guys had last year?
Yeah, number one thing is good person. Like, one person can ruin a culture. Like, you could take the most beautiful, the best made ice cream. I'm an ice cream guy, as you can probably tell. The best ice cream you've ever eaten in your entire life. And you could take a little bit of Tabasco and put it in that thing and it's over. Like, what happened? And I love Tabasco, but it's over. The ice cream sucks now. So when every single person that is in the organization has to be part of what we envision it to be, and that's what I said earlier, to be a good person, make decisions, they have to be in it for the right reasons. And I think we truly have a staff that's like that. And the combination for me is, I don't want 30 Kenny Dillinghams here. Like, I don't want that. That's horrible. I want everybody to be themselves, everybody with different backgrounds, everybody with different experiences. That way, this morning I went into Hines Ward's office and I said, hey, you've done this more than anybody else. You've led a team, right, that had success, and you created a culture. How did you guys, like, do it again? How did you get your leaders to do it again and work again and believe again. What was that like? And I'm like, I want you to go meet with some of our leaders of this team to like talk about what you did when you were in their shoes in this moment, because I think that's what it's about. It's about stealing knowledge from as many people as you can. And I think we have a lot of different people with a lot of different knowledge that we can just kind of use to make our football team and our program better.
All right, one last question about Cam Scatterbo, because I love him so much. What is going to be the legacy that he left? From what he did the last couple of years, what is going to linger? What's going to help you build upon?
Yeah, I think for him, people are always going to remember his style of play and his passion. I think those are two things that are absolute no-brainers for him. People are going to remember just the old school, rugged, run you over, like play super hard, do everything. They're going to remember that. They'll remember some plays, but I think they're going to remember more of an image. This folk hero, this dude who did it all. I think they're just going to remember that the image of Cam kind of doing everything and being this old school guy that helped one of the best seasons in the history of the program.
Last thing, Kenny, and we've talked to you about your infectious energy for 2 seasons now, and coming off the season that you guys had and capturing the imaginations of this town. How has everyday life changed for Kenny Dillingham just walking around Phoenix?
Yeah, I definitely get, I can still sometimes go incognito, but I definitely get recognized more. I definitely, have more eyes and very aware of people watching me, so I definitely get recognized more. And, I would say my space is probably more limited now than it was in terms of just being able to go and kind of disappear. That's definitely going away. But that's all a positive.
Yep.
At the end of the day, the longer you're somewhere, they're either going to recognize you for sucking or recognize you for being good. And I'd much rather somebody come over and want to take a photo than somebody look and snap a photo of me, say, this guy sucks, right, and text it to their friends. So hopefully I can continue in that trend and the program can continue in the right direction. So I'm not getting the weird photos taken of me sent in a group chat of this guy sucks, and people come up and say hello, introduce themselves, and get a photo, and we hang out for a few seconds and then get about the business.
Yep. Kenny, thanks so much for spending some time with us today.
Yeah.
Good to catch up with you.
I appreciate it. Go Devils.
Thanks, Kenny Dillingham.
All-Star break over. It's over. Now the Suns meet the Spurs in San Antonio. CP3 and Wemby joined by De'Aaron Fox, so the Spurs got stronger after that trade, which is great for the Western Conference where the Suns are concerned. Fantastic. Will the Suns be able to contain Wemby, Fox, and the Spurs? Is everyone on the Suns healthy? Is everyone on the Suns cool after some folks almost got traded? Suns at the Spurs, 6:30 pregame, 7:30 tip right here. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Are you feeling run down, tired, and low on energy? Are you experiencing brain fog and body aches but just don't know why? Restore Wellness has an amazing treatment that will give you the essential vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes your body needs to heal. And it's covered by insurance. At Restore Wellness, we're using a painless IV therapy to help your body quickly absorb the nutrients it needs. We personalize each treatment to boost your immunity, increase your energy, and decrease your symptoms. Don't wait to get healthy again.
The first 25 callers will receive an in-depth consultation absolutely free. Call 480-746-3200 now.
We can recharge your immune system, help you rehydrate, and get you feeling better fast. The treatments are covered by all insurance companies, including Medicare.
Be one of the first 25 people to call 480-746-3200 and receive an in-depth consultation absolutely free.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here again. Over the years, I've seen way too many timeshare exit companies pop up, take folks' money, and disappear. I just saw an ad from an exit company started by a couple of bozos that used to work for me. My advice, don't hire bozos out fire. Want out of your timeshare? Call me and I'll send you our free timeshare exit info kit explaining your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free kit. 800-949-1441. 800-949-1441.
Hey, it's time to put some presidents back in our wallets during the President's Day sales event going on right now at our Desert Ford dealers. Paul Calvisi here, and take that 2024 Ford Escape, made for the everyday, ready for your getaways. And right now, you can get a Ford Credit Flex Buy with 1.9% APR Ford Credit financing for 66 months, plus $2,000 in Flex Buy cash when you buy a new 2024 Ford Escape during the President's Day sales event. Hey, you're looking for the perfect work truck or maybe a powerful weekend warrior? Ford is the #1 selling truck brand in Arizona. And right now, even better, Ram owners get 3.9% APR financing for 60 months, plus $5,000 cash back on a 2024 Ford F-150, XLT, and STX when you trade in your Ram. But hurry, time is running out on the President's Day sales event going on at our Desert Ford dealers. Click buyfordnow.com. Based on S&P Global Mobility Retail U.S. new vehicle registrations for the truck vehicle type, CYTD October 2024.
Golf responsibly with Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewing, Arizona's #1 craft brewery. Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is easy to enjoy. Subtle notes of passion fruit, orange, and guava flavors, and a crisp, refreshing finish. Check out Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale at your local restaurant or retailer. Golf responsibly.
Hey, it's Wolf. How will the Phoenix Suns come out of the All-Star break with their playoff hopes on the line? We'll discuss starting at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
But any free agents out there that you wouldn't mind seeing in Detroit next year? I did see a photo of you talking to Myles Garrett.
That's right.
NFL honors.
That's right. Hey, I mean, Myles. If me and Myles were to pair up, that would be deadly.
I don't know if you've seen anything like it.
I know. I was talking to him. We were at the honors, and we were just talking about what could be, and although it's probably unlikely, I think I would be thrilled to play next to him if it were to happen. But yeah, our whole D line would be like just totally elevated, and we would. That'd be a scary defensive line.
That is Aiden Hutchinson of the Detroit Lions. I didn't have this on my bingo card. Playing a soundbite from a podcast hosted by actor Taylor Lautner.
Wow.
Of Twilight fame. But he and his wife have a podcast,
yeah.
and it's called The Squeeze, and Aiden Hutchinson was on it. And, that would be a scary defensive line. Aiden Hutchinson coming back from a broken leg. And I don't know if you saw the video of him rehabbing, and everybody saying, wow, people should be really excited about Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he looked really heavy-legged in that video when he was running down the field. But maybe that's to be expected at this point of his rehab. It was a pretty serious injury.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to be a wrecking ball when he gets back. That being said, if the Detroit Lions were the team that swung a trade for Myles Garrett, would that be the most devastating 1-2 punch on the edges? I mean, certainly in recent memory, maybe of all time.
Wow, that's interesting.
And are the Lions positioned to do it? We've been talking about the Cardinals, and hey, what do? Do you give up 2 first-round draft picks if you're the Cardinals? They don't have a lot of draft capital this year, but they're also not a proven winner, which Myles Garrett says, I want to go play for championships. Detroit is on the top of the heap at the NFC. They're not the Super Bowl champions. They were the best team in the conference the whole year despite their injuries. Are they in a position to say, okay, we'll give up draft capital because of who we are right now? Are they more apt to do it? Aiden Hutchinson said it's unlikely that it'll happen, but let's think about it for a second. I don't know. There's a lot to consider in all of this.
Well, listen, I'm curious, how do the Lions have all that cap space where they can do this? They do have it, but that just doesn't make sense to me. I thought that they had acquired a lot of high-salary guys. Apparently not. But you got my brain working here because as somebody who lived and loved the 85 Bears, they had Richard Dent, but Dan Hampton and Steve McMichael, there were more tackles. So, did Reggie White ever play with a great D end in Philly?
Clyde Simmons was the other D end, yeah.
He was an end? Okay, so that's a pretty good pairing.
And Jerome Brown, before he passed away, that was a devastating defensive line. You had the defensive lines of the Minnesota Vikings, the Pittsburgh Steelers during their glory days.
Did the Ravens ever have in those 2000s teams?
Well, that'd be Terrell Suggs, and that would be, I don't know.
Well, Suggs, was he...
He was
so
more
bad
like,
at
he was more like
positional.
a linebacker.
I mean,
Same
he
with
was
Ray
certainly an
Lewis.
edge rusher, but
But-
Lewis was more of a prototypical off-ball linebacker.
Yeah, Ray Lewis was the middle linebacker.
Yeah.
You're right. So hey, I think in the case of this, Aiden Hutchinson and Myles Garrett would be two of the top 3 pass rushers, maybe if not the top 2 in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be unbelievable. That would be filthy.
Yeah,
wouldn't
looking
it?
at the Lions cap space, by the way, over the cap's got them now with the salary cap figure based on $279.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
They have almost $52 million of available space.
Wow.
Yeah, for a team that's that good.
Wow, that's crazy.
And that number will change too, as different roster maneuvers get made between now and June 1st and all of that stuff. But man, that would be absolutely frightening.
Well, it's going to be interesting because a lot of people are wondering what are the Lions going to be like without these two coordinators. Now, the Eagles famously lost both coordinators, and they responded to win the Super Bowl
2 years later.
2 years later.
Yeah. So the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl in 2 years.
But again, Dan Campbell is more of is a culture guy. He's not exactly the scheming tactical type. And to lose Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, I don't know what that's going to do for that team. Bringing in Myles Garrett would be something. Bill Barnwell's predicting the Eagles will trade for Myles Garrett. Where are they getting all the money?
Same situation there. Adding a Myles Garrett to that defensive line. Oh, we lost Josh Sweat in free agency.
Yeah, let's
Bummer.
go get Myles. Yeah, but
Let's upgrade that position with Myles Garrett, a motivated Myles Garrett.
But that would be this. I mean, with the Eagles, they would be losing players at least, and not just adding directly to that defense. But on the Lions thing, I guess there's a reason why we couldn't really think of in history like such an unbelievable combo of great players, because teams don't often put so much investment, money-wise, into one specific position like that, on a team. So, like, if you're the Lions, obviously the defense is something that needs to be improved, but is that a realistic option? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how realistic it is. It's been discussed by the players, and does it get off the ground? I don't know. Realistically, when you look at the Lions, to your point, Jarrett, it would be a luxury item. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson went down early in the season, and people said, no, they're cooked. They weren't cooked.
No.
They figured out ways to get it done until they couldn't get it done against Washington. It would certainly be a luxury. And, people are also saying Zadarius Smith's pretty good too. And Zadarius Smith didn't play one down of football when Aiden Hutchinson was on the field. So
yeah,
they kind of already have a duo in place should they want to continue that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point, because the acquisition of Zadarius Smith, I'm not sure Zadarius Smith gave them the production that the Lions were expecting, but he still did okay. I think he had like 4 sacks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's interesting. The trade season in the NFL, I don't recall trades ever being such a thing in the NFL. It's certainly something that's changed over the course of time. John Frischello, who covers football, pointed this out, and I'm going to say this to illustrate a point. He mentioned that what's weird is that every single starting quarterback in the NFC West is a possible trade candidate. Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Brock Purdy. I told you I heard from a football source who said to me, "You heard anything about Kyler Murray traded to the Jets?"
There's been a lot of articles written on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are people getting the idea that Kyler Murray is on the trade market? Because it's everywhere. And are they not listening to the way this current regime talks about Kyler Murray?
It's funny because that was such a big story last offseason because the Cardinals had the 4th pick.
Yeah.
And then they stuck with Kyler Murray, and they've done nothing but back him through good and bad.
Right.
So it's weird that it's sort of starting to bubble up again.
Doesn't mean it's starting from here.
No, I know.
The Jets are certainly looking for a quarterback.
And as I pointed out, too, Kyler Murray played probably his best game against the Jets last year, one of them.
Yeah, a lot of people played their best game against the Jets last year. Look, we have Monty Ossenford in studio tomorrow for 2 segments.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the first question. Is Kyler Murray getting traded to the
How's
Jets?
the Kyler Murray trade talks going? Monty?
Are you going to trade him straight up for Myles Garrett?
Coming up next, Jared's going to catch us up on the big stories of this Thursday morning in the Rush Hour reboot. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
It is incredible right now, honestly. I'm so happy for Geraldo Perdomo receiving this 4-year extension. This guy is one of my favorite Diamondbacks. He starts a lot of rallies. He gets on base in a lot of different ways. He's fundamentally solid with his glove. He's got a clutch gene in him as well. He's respected and loved in the clubhouse.
Perdomo's kind of the one that he just doesn't get as much hype, but he's such a key piece to what they're doing.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. If your backyard is kind of cringy, if it keeps you from having company over on the weekends, don't worry, don't fret. I've been there. Everyone's kind of been there. My friends at Turf Monsters, they can come to your rescue. Turf Monster is a one-stop shop that can build you that backyard of your dreams, whatever you're looking for, from fire pits to barbecue pits, patios to pergolas. If you've always wanted a beautiful green, sparkling lawn, they are a leading installer of artificial turf in the valley. It looks fantastic. All of their turfs are of the highest quality. If you're a golfer, they can build you a state-of-the-art putting green. You can go check out some of their work in that regard. They are fantastic. In fact, they did the putting course at Dobson Ranch. If you want to go check that out, beautiful state-of-the-art putting greens. What could be better than practicing your short game in the comfort of your own home? Whatever you want, they can get that done. They've got a great reputation for staying on schedule, for professionalism, for truly caring about your happiness. You can also get 12-month interest-free financing. Schedule your free estimate online at turfmonstersaz.com or give them a call. Tell them I sent you. 623-323-3900 for Turf Monsters.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Right now, get up to a $15 gift card after rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
While many companies are offering one cash offer for your home, how do you know you're getting the best offer? It's very easy with Carol Royce, your home sold guaranteed realty. Sellers who want to consider a cash offer can sell fast and with certainty with Carol's Guaranteed Multiple Cash Offers program. Carol will bring 3 to 6 offers with at least one at 100% of market value, or Carol will pay you the difference. Call Carol Royce today or visit carolhasthebuyers.com. That's carolhasthebuyers.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows.
Are you kidding?
Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Hey, Gambo here with a huge special from Christian Brothers. Get your furnace CO2 checkup for just $49. Make sure your family is safe this winter as people start turning the heat on. And if you just got through with an AC unit on its last leg, Christian Brothers has a special where you can get $2,000 off any AC unit right now. You can even finance a brand new unit for as low as $175 per month. And with any new unit purchase, get a free indoor air scrubber. Christian Brothers carries many of the major brands. Call them at 602-222-3535 or online at cbrothers.com.
Hey, Wolf here from my brothers and sisters at Santan Ford. That's right, you've heard me talking about my Santan Ford F-150 and the Warrior Queens Expedition, and how we are Santan Ford. Well, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, do yourself a favor. Go check out the hundreds of new and used vehicles at Santan Ford. Located at the Santan 202 in Val Vista in Gilbert, Tim Hovick and the great team at Santan Ford will take care of you. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford.
Hey, it's Gambo. Back to tell you about the Schwartz Laser Eye Center. Dr. Jay Schwartz did the LASIK surgery on my eyes over 15 years ago, and to this day, my vision has never been better. I see great at night, in the day, up close, far away, no glasses, no readers, and this is 15 years later. Dr. Schwartz offers the best in advanced LASIK technology, as well as other surgical laser procedures, such as the clear lens exchange and the Evo ICL. Whether it's nearsightedness, farsightedness, an astigmatism, or any other eye care issues, the Schwartz Laser Eye Center can help improve your vision and change your life as he did mine. There is a reason he is the official eye doctor for the Phoenix Suns and Arizona Diamondbacks. The Schwartz Laser Eye Center has 3 valley-wide locations, one in Glendale, one in Scottsdale, and one in Mesa. Schedule your free LASIK evaluation by calling 480-483-EYES. That's 480-483-EYES, or going online at teamidoc.com.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. If you're a hockey fan, tonight is your night. It's the final of the Four Nations tournament between Team USA and Canada in Boston. Lots of national pride on the line. Team USA took the first meeting in Montreal, but this one is for the championship. Saturday, there were 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. You know, when the gloves drop before the puck, that just makes for good television. Face-off tonight is 6 o'clock. The Suns are back in action tonight for the first time after the All-Star break, and the upcoming stretch is going to be tough. 4 games in 6 days, all on the road, beginning tonight in Austin, Texas, against the Spurs. Kevin Durant, who played a year at the University of Texas, is still a fan favorite there. Tip-off is 7:30. You can hear it all right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. And the Diamondbacks host the Rockies tomorrow in the Cactus League opener. The team's big offseason pickup, Corbin Burns, is going to be on the mound for the Diamondbacks. He signed that 6-year, $210 million deal, 4-time All-Star, former Cy Young winner. He pitched almost 200 innings last year in 32 starts, and that's big. It's a 1:10 start time tomorrow. The report is brought to you by Brooklyn Betting. This President's Day sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store and online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbetting.com.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Billy and Murata Mornings. Rush Hour Reboot. Rush Hour Reboot. Getting you up to speed on everything happening in sports this morning. Brought to you by Brooklyn Betting. For the best sleep ever, get the best mattress ever at Brooklyn Betting.
Oh, beep, beep. Oh, reboot. Oh, beep, beep. Oh, reboot. It is time for the Rush Hour Reboot, where we go through the top stories of the day with Bickley and Murata.
Was there peyote in that breakfast burrito, Jared?
Maybe. I was wondering what that a little tinge of flavor was.
Feel one with Aaron Rodgers right now?
Is he a peyote guy? I know he likes
Fred,
ayahuasca.
the big chill Khalil is just in there shaking his head. Yes, he's as weird as you think he is, Fred.
I'm laughing. Courtesy laughter from morning shows, right?
Big Chill feels like a big peyote guy in his day. Anyway, this is the Rush Hour Reboot. We'll go through the top stories of the day here. And we'll start with the Phoenix Suns. They are back in action tonight after a long All-Star break. They are playing the San Antonio Spurs in Austin, Texas. And Kevin Durant did some press before the game and was talking about what the Suns need to do to turn things around.
Just get back to the fundamentals, man, of simply boxing out, rebounding. I think we play solid defense, but we give up offensive rebounds. You give a team in this league 2 or 3 chances to score, they're going to usually do it. So initially we play good defense. We got to do a better job of boxing out and keeping the ball in our hands. And I think that, those small, subtle changes, you'll see a change in our game as well.
All right, pie chart this bad boy for me. The Suns' problems with defense and rebounding this season. How much of it do you blame on personnel? How much do you blame on it on effort? And how much do you blame on it on coaching?
Defense and rebounding?
Yeah, defensive and rebounding problems.
Personnel, effort, coaching.
Yeah.
50% personnel, 30% effort. 40% personnel, 40% effort, 20% coaching.
Okay, that sounds about where I think I would land. Again, you know how I feel about this. The coaching has been disappointing. The defensive rating of the team has plummeted from Frank Vogel. But again, coaches in the NBA, I don't think that they're that difference makers on that level. So
so much scheme. It's not like football.
I will go 45, 40, and 15.
Look, we were joking around with Bryce Drew yesterday about I've never met a coach who says, hey, we're not looking ahead into the future. We've got to take it day by day. I've also never met a basketball coach in like 30 years of doing this that didn't stress defense and rebounding. So it's being stressed. There's only so much you can yell about it. If you don't have the personnel to do it or the personnel you have isn't willing to do it, that's what you see.
Right. Yeah, right.
That's the sort of double disappointment. Like, first of all, if you both of you put that much blame on the personnel, there's nothing you could do because you can only go out there with the guys that you have on your team. But if it's almost equal with effort too, like, all right, they already are behind the 8 ball with the personnel, and then the personnel they have, like you said, aren't giving the effort that they need to give.
Here's a question for you. Overall, right now, who is the Phoenix Suns' best rebounder? I'm not talking about statistics. Who's the guy that does the best job consistently of grabbing rebounds? It's probably Nick Richards. Who's played like 10 games with this team.
Yeah.
And whose minutes have decreased since he's gotten here.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you're right. All right, let's go to the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are starting spring training games this week. And Merrill Kelly spoke yesterday, and he talked about the big acquisition to the pitching staff, Corbin Burns.
Surprised, honestly. I didn't think we were going to spend that much money, but obviously I was super excited about it. Anytime you get a guy like that, you're going to be pumped.
It's funny how he didn't think they were going to spend that much money. I guess that's a pleasant surprise for the players.
Yeah, Merrill Kelly like, oh, sure, now they have all this money.
Oh, well, the checkbook. They found their checkbook. What do you know?
Right.
No, but so much talk about Corbin Burns. On the Merrill Kelly thing, what are you expecting from Merrill Kelly this season? Because going into last year, we talked about him really in the same breath as Zach Gallen, almost maybe being a bigger ace. And he had a very disappointing injury-filled season.
My only concern about Merrill Kelly is the cramping and the injuries. When he is out there, he has been rock solid consistent for about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Every time he takes the ball.
Yeah, and his playoff run was as scintillating as it gets. Yeah, it's the cramping issue. I really hope that there has been some resolution to that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with him. I mean, who doesn't have faith in a good start from Merrill Kelly when he's on the mound? Everybody does.
Yeah.
And if he stays healthy, there's a real good chance he's the best number 3 starter in all of Major League Baseball.
No doubt about it.
Right. And as I always will bring up, he is older than you think he is. He's 36, going to be 37 this year. So we'll see if that catches up. And finally, the Four Nations Tournament Final, USA versus Canada, is tonight. Head coach Mike Sullivan of the USA team talked about the importance of the rematch.
The way that game was played with the emotional investment on both sides, it's just such an indication of how much these guys care and what this means to them. There's a lot of pride at stake, and it will be a hard-fought battle. That's what I would anticipate. So I think it's a great celebration of hockey.
Everybody is talking about this, a great celebration of hockey, and that how everyone is interested in this tournament. Is this doing anything to make you more interested, though, in the actual NHL product?
It's a great question. And I was thinking about this when we talked about this earlier. If you asked 1 million American sports fans, what's the greatest story in American sports history? A lot of people would vote for the 1980 Miracle on Ice Olympic hockey team.
Yes, they would.
And I was 8 years old when that happened. I remember a lot of it vividly. I remember watching that game on Friday night when they beat the Russians. It was on tape delay. I was too young to realize what it meant for the boost of hockey overall. The popularity of the NHL in this country. And the NHL looked completely different then. There was not nearly as many teams. So maybe it was long-lasting effects. I'm wondering especially if the Americans find a way to win this game, what it does. We know Canada, it's a religion in Canada. It always will be until the end of time. Can the NHL capitalize on it? I have my doubts.
Or is this gymnastics and swimming and figure skating?
It's almost got an Olympic feel to it. Like, we're watching the Olympics because that's what's being offered, and yes, I'm getting caught up in it, but once it's over, I'm going back to my regular viewing habits. I don't know the answer to that question. I think it's a very deep discussion.
It's a very, very good question. Has there ever been a more consequential exhibition in sports? Billie Jean King versus Bobby Riggs?
That was certainly, yeah.
As you said, Apollo Creed versus Ivan Drago.
Rocky versus Thunder Lips. I mean, come on.
Oh, sure. That's right.
Afterwards, can we get that Polaroid together? Sometimes charity really hurts. My first exposure to Hulk Hogan was...
Yes, that was actually before he was in the WWF.
Really?
I mean, before he became like Hulkamania and all that stuff, yeah.
Well,
there you go. You've been rebooted.
Thoroughly rebooted today, Jarrett. Some real thought-provoking questions.
Thank you.
There was something in that breakfast burrito.
Yeah. Is it ayahuasca?
It was a ginkgo biloba, babe.
Kevin Ginkgo biloba.
Coming up next, we are one day away from the beginning of Cactus League baseball for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And if you're headed out to a ballpark this spring, things are going to look a little different. We'll tell you how next. Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
You want to sign somebody in free agency on the cheap, on the down low, not very expensive? Fine. You can use depth there, and you can use veteran guys there to help. But this is only going to work next year if Marvin Harrison Jr. is elite. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't elite after 2 years in the league, there are going to be some real question marks about this draft, about this general manager, about his ability to build this team. Not that it all falls on one guy.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey, it's Vince Murata back to tell you about big President's Day savings going on all month long at the best place in the Valley to get into a new Ford vehicle. Of course, that is Earnhardt Ford in Chandler, where I'm a two-time customer. It's also where General Manager John Nissen and his entire team are rolling out huge discounts like 2024 Ford F-150 STX and XLTs. They're available at a low 3.9% APR financing rate on approved credit for 60 months, plus get up to $7,000 total cash back towards your purchase on an STX or XLT. If you're looking for an EV option, look no further than the all-electric 2024 Ford Mustang Mach-E. Tremendous vehicle. They're available at 0% APR for a full 72 months on approved credit, plus $2,500 in Ford bonus cash, and a complimentary Ford home charger and installation with 24/7 live support. These offers do require approved credit, as I mentioned. See dealer for full details. Offers end March 3rd, 2025. And you can take advantage of them now at Earnhardt Ford in Chandler. Visit the team in person, I-10 and Ray Road, or complete your entire buying process online at EarnhardtFord.com.
We all got a thing, yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay, things people love.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, sports fanatics and card collectors, Adam back from DNA Cards and Collectibles. This Saturday, February 22nd, we're hosting a Topps Hobby Rip Night. Event starts at noon with Trevor Hoffman. We are also excited to announce Sophie Cunningham, Charlie Condon, Tommy Edmond, and Christian Yelich will be in attendance throughout the day, taking photos, ripping packs, and trading cards. Stay tuned, the best is yet to come, and stay in the loop by following us on Instagram at DNA Card Shop, located on the northwest corner of 32nd Street and Shea Boulevard. DNA Cards and Collectibles. Be legendary.
Hey, Ron Wolfley here, and I'm sitting next to my great friend, Dr. Joe from Aria Dental Implant Center. Hey, Dr. Joe, it's great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Dr. Joe, how is Aria Dental Implant Center different from other dental implant centers?
What I created is an environment where patients feel safe, where I can predictably provide care. It's cost effective. We have our own lab. We have our own designers. We have teams that do things in an effective way. Other implant centers could be part of a chain, let's say, called.
Yes.
There is cost involved with being part of those groups. My goal is to reduce the cost. I own my center. I am the one providing care. And every one of my patients gets my phone number to make sure they know they have access to me.
Go see my friend Dr. Joe. If you have broken or missing teeth, he's going to help you. AriaDentalImplantCenter.com. It's spelled A-R-I-A. AriaDentalImplantCenter.com.
When Dan Bickley and Vince Morata talk about baseball, it's chin music. And they know a lot about chin music. Did you ever look at the chins on those two guys?
Rest in peace, Bob Uecker. Baseball season without Bob Uecker. That stinks. Anyway, Cactus League play gets underway tomorrow. Actually, today, there's one game at Camelback Ranch, Dodgers and Cubs, and then full slate tomorrow. So we'll get our first look at the D-backs. And if you're headed out to Cactus League this year, which, look, people look forward to this every single year. I know I look forward to it every single year. If you and let's be honest about it. There's you know, what's the percentage of people that go to spring training games that are really honed in on baseball? Half? Is it
less?
Less than half? It's a place to be seen. It's got the Arizona party feel.
Somewhere between the Super Bowl and the Phoenix Open.
Yes, but if you are one of those in that category, being honed in on the baseball, we're getting our first look in the major leagues at the ABS ball strike challenge system that is going to be in place. Not in every game, not in every ballpark, but there are systems set up this spring. Salt River Fields, Camelback Ranch, Peoria Sports Complex, Surprise Stadium, and Goodyear Ballpark. So that means Hohokam, Sloan, Maryvale. Those would be the three that don't have it. Tempe Diablo. They don't have it. But if you're going to a game in one of those stadiums, you're going to see this rolled out. It's available in about 60% of the spring training stadiums. They're going to test it. They're going to see how it works. And if it goes swimmingly, the earliest it would be implemented in regular season play would be 2026, next baseball season. But we've been talking so much over the last few years, and it gets magnified when you have a team that's in the thick of it, that's competing for World Series championships or playoff spots. The frustration over missed calls, missed ball and strike calls gets heavier every single year. So we've been talking about this system, and you see it being tested in the minor leagues, Bick, and how effective it's been. I can't wait to see what this looks like in practice.
Yeah, you and me both, because I think this is long overdue. I think the idea of human error is a quaint notion now in sports. The idea that, well, we're all human. We all make mistakes. That's part of the game. Umpires have been calling balls and strikes in baseball since 1864.
Some of the same umpires are still doing it.
Yeah. And listen, if there's a better way to do it, it causes so many issues. We've seen one highlight after another, and it's not just Angel Hernandez. We've seen games be determined on just terrible calls, one way or the other. It's time to correct this issue, in my opinion. I shared that story last year of when I went to Reno and went to an Aces game, and they had it in minor league baseball, a review system in place. So if you were a batter and you didn't agree with the umpire's call, you could challenge it. And the darndest thing, the day I was there, the darndest thing happened was the umpire called a strike on the very first pitch of the game, and the batter challenged it. Very first pitch of the game, and the call was overturned. And I thought to myself, how does that umpire feel right now? He has got to have the crimson posterior, right? Getting challenged on the first pitch and shown up and proven wrong. So my thinking was, I'm not sure this challenge is really that good either, because it's effectively showing up an umpire, and these guys can hold a grudge.
Yeah.
I hope this thing works swimmingly. I hope there's no glitches in this thing, because I think baseball really needs it. I really, really do.
Some of the details of it are interesting. So in these spring training challenge games where this is accessible to teams, each team will have 2 challenges for the whole game.
All right.
So you're talking about a maximum of 4 pitches out of 200 plus pitches in any given game. So one of the effects people are looking at too is how long does it lengthen the game, extend the game time. On average, with the testing that's been done, 17 seconds is increased. Game time is increased by 17 seconds on average. Who can do the challenges? The batter, the pitcher, or the catcher can challenge an umpire's call. The manager can't do so, and it has to be done immediately after the pitch.
Right.
So nobody knows better than those 3 players. That's the way it needs to be done. And I'm also curious to see how teams navigate through this. When the challenge system came into play in the NBA, we still see it. I think there's a lot of teams that will burn early challenges on not very important pivotal plays.
Right.
And sometimes you lose those challenges because of different nuances. So how are these pitchers, catchers, and batters going to swim through this when you got to wait for a really pivotal pitch to use this?
Well, not only that, yes, you really do. You've got to wait for a really pivotal pitch, or you've got to, I think a lot of people will just keep it in their back pocket to the late innings of the game.
Do the players have to have approval from their manager so they don't just instinctively?
No. The players, they do it. They tip their cap. There's a function that they have to do to symbolize the challenge, and it has to be right away.
That's what I'm saying.
Jared is saying, how empowered are the players at different types of the game from the
an
manager?
emotional response, like, I didn't think that was a strike.
That pitch is 8 inches outside. I'm challenging that, and it's the bottom of the first inning.
Exactly.
It's like the Devin Booker rule. Challenge everything.
Right, exactly.
Challenge everything.
The thing I never understood about challenges in any sport is that if you get the challenge right, why do you lose the challenge? You just got it. They screwed up the call. Why should you only have 2? You should have 2 chances.
According to this
get
system,
it wrong.
you only lose the challenge if the umpire's call is confirmed.
So you would keep the 2 opportunities until you got 2 wrong?
No. It's like I'm reading this article from MLB.com. In the ABS challenge games played during spring training, each team will start the game with 2 challenges apiece.
Okay.
Unless I'm missing
something
else.
I read the same thing from MLB.com, and the question was, are successful challenges retained? The answer, yes. A team only loses its challenge if the umpire's
all right, so that makes sense.
I got
you. So what this is all leading to, though, is if they have this,
you got to be right. As a batter, you better be darn sure.
Right. But what this is leading to is if they have this technology now, instead of just having to challenge it, just have every strike and ball call automated from the get-go, right?
Well,
isn't that the eventual end game?
That to me should be the end game.
Well, this is the first Major League Baseball step towards that, in my opinion.
Okay.
Now you still have the need for umpires to call outs on base paths and at home plate and things like that, and to be a conduit of this system, basically.
Right.
But in 10 years, that's going to be in place. I mean, if baseball still exists. Big caveat there. I'm excited about
Where's baseball going, Vinny?
I didn't just say just baseball.
I got you. Right. If we still exist.
The America's part of America's pastime.
That's right. That's right.
Coming up next, Bick kicks off the second half of this Thursday show with the blast. And that'll be piggybacked with a visit from James Jones, Suns general manager, as Newsmakers Week 2025 continues. Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
It's another disappointing Suns season. So what do Kellen and Kevin make of the team at the All-Star break? Find out on the Empire of the Suns podcast from Arizona Sports. Press play on the Arizona Sports YouTube channel. The Empire of the Suns podcast is brought to you by Sonic. Live free. Eat Sonic.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Chapman BMW. Last season had dinner with Ted Chapman before a Suns game, and our waiter began raving about the Chapman Automotive Group, how the car he had just purchased was incredible, the service was incredible, the price was way better than what he expected, and how happy his wife was with the overall experience. Super cool moment for me to witness because it was proof of what I've been saying for years, and that is Chapman BMW is a cut above. They're a family-owned, award-winning business since 1966 with a great reputation for making luxury attainable and a great reputation for elite service and handling. In fact, I've had a number of listeners reach back and thank me for pointing them towards Chapman BMW. They loved and raved about the experience. One of them told me it took them longer to buy a new suit than it did a new car. So here's my advice if you're in the market for a new ride. Make it the ride of your life. Go take a test drive, find what you like, then go get your hookup. His name is Shane O'Hanrahan, GM of both locations, hooked up a number of our listeners already. You can be next. You can always shop online at ChapmanBMW.com. That's Chapman BMW. 2 great locations, 1 great experience.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
At Robbins, these 1-carat total weight natural earrings are $27.95. Diamond Dave price $1,600. At Shane, this 3-carat lab-grown bracelet is $2,400. Diamond Dave's only $1,800. At Tiffany, this 1.26 natural engagement ring is $22,100. The same with Diamond Dave, $8,300. Let me say that again, $22,100 in a blue box. Save almost $14,000 with Diamond Dave. Look, I don't say this to be snarky. These are real numbers. With our by appointment, wholesale office, direct importing, in-house design and manufacturing, it's easy to save you hundreds, even tens of thousands of dollars when compared to retail. And it's not just about pricing. We've been and continue to be the go-to for thousands of people for 35 years. It's Diamond Dave to save big time on quality diamonds in natural and lab-grown.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450 or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave, KANTOR.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the Union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles. Net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks. And save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and Flex Buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
KMBP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Suns are back in action tonight for the first time after the All-Star break, and the upcoming stretch is going to be tough. 4 games in 6 days, all on the road. It begins tonight in Austin, Texas, against the Spurs. Kevin Durant, who played his year of college basketball at the University of Texas, is still a fan favorite there. Don't forget, tonight, the Spurs' big man Victor Wembanyama is doubtful with an undisclosed illness. Tip-off is 7:30. You can hear it all here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. If you're a hockey fan, tonight is your night. It's the final of the Four Nations tournament between Team USA and Canada in Boston. Face-off at the TD Garden is 6 o'clock. Saturday's matchup featured 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. The puck drops at 6. And the Diamondbacks open Cactus League play tomorrow when the D-backs host the Rockies. The big free agent acquisition, Corbin Burns, will be on the mound. Burns signed a 6-year, $210 million deal. He's a 4-time All-Star and a former Cy Young winner and pitched almost 200 innings last year in 32 starts. Game time is 1:10. This report is brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers. The President's Day sales event is going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. If you're shopping for a car, truck, or SUV, stop by your Valley Chevy dealers today.
Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Tonight is more than a basketball game for the Suns. It's a wellness check. It's a temperature gauge. It's a window into how much they care about their current predicament and how much they believe in one another. Because these Suns are staring down the barrel of a potential stigma and a reputation they do not want, as in potentially the biggest failure in franchise history. Now, that might sound ridiculous after some of the Sarver era shenanigans, but when you factor in the high-end talent on the roster, we're talking 3 $50 million players, the franchise's all-time leading scorer, and a first-ballot Hall of Famer, and when you factor in expectations, it's not so absurd after all. Once again, Matt Ishbia has spent a reported $400 million for this roster with taxes included, which is more than what the Dodgers paid for their entire baseball team, and if a team with championship expectations misses the playoffs entirely at that price, this season might go from WTF to WTE, worst team ever, and you hope that alone is enough to motivate this group to find the heart, fire, and pride needed to level up and make a real push for the postseason. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Just get back to the fundamentals, man, of simply boxing out, rebounding. I think we play solid defense, but we give up offensive rebounds. You give a team in this league 2 or 3 chances to score, they're going to usually do it. So initially we play good defense. We got to do a better job of boxing out and keeping the ball in our hands. And I think that, those small, subtle changes, you'll see a change in our game as well.
Kevin Durant talking to the media in Austin, Texas yesterday, where he played his 1 year of college basketball. It's where the Suns play the San Antonio Spurs tonight. 28-game sprint to the finish for the Phoenix Suns, who, if this season was 54 games long, Bick, they would be in that category you mentioned. Out of the playoffs entirely.
Yeah.
Not in the top 6 seeds, not 7, 8, 9, 10 as part of the play-in. So there is a ton of work to be done just to avoid that WTE label.
Yeah, and again, we've seen some stuff here. That end of the Earl Watson era, that the Eric Bledsoe tweeting from a hair salon, all that we've seen some stuff, but we never had expectations for those teams. This team we did, and we did last year. So you hope that it matters, and you hope that something will change now that they know we're out of the All-Star break. We're out of the playoff picture at the moment. We've got a finite amount of games to go here. Let's go make this thing happen. So again, I think we've all expressed our skepticism because of what we've seen for 50-plus games. But you know what Rocky said? You've been quoting Rocky a lot. If he can change and you can change,
then anyone can change. I will continue to quote Rocky.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's all good.
That's all I know.
So, no, hey, listen, it's all good.
The Suns starting this post-All-Star break portion of the schedule with the 4-game road trip. As road trips go, it's not that hairy, especially coming off a week off. San Antonio in Austin, and then Saturday at Chicago, Sunday at Toronto. Last game of the trip is the toughest one at Memphis. And then they come home for back-to-back games against New Orleans next Thursday and Friday. So this could be a time, with the Suns being healthy, it could be a time to stack some wins, maybe instill some energy and some confidence in this team that they can actually turn things around in these final 28 games, but we shall see. We are joined now as Newsmakers Week 2025 continues here on Bickley and Murata Mornings by the president of basketball operations, general manager of the Phoenix Suns, James Jones, checking in here on the Arizona Sports Line. James, thanks for the time. How are you today?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Well,
thanks so much for joining us, James. Big of you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, when it doesn't matter, we were joking about this last week. It doesn't matter what sport. When you hit the All-Star break, people always ask the question, is this break coming at a good time for the team? And I made the point with all the angst with the fan base about how the first 54 games went, James. The break came at a good time for the fans. What is the mindset of this team going into the final 28 games? And did it change? Has it changed at all from the beginning mindset of this season?
No, it always changes. When you get to the break point, reality sets in. You find out where you actually are in relation to your competition. And if you're out front, if you're the number one seed, sometimes at the break you have a sigh of relief. If you are where we are, which is in the thick of it, fighting, for our playoff lives, you refocus, you adjust, and you come out of the break hopefully recharged and, focused on the goal, which is to win games. You got to stack wins and you got to climb up the standings. So for this team, I think for all that we've been through, the break's been good for us, kind of as a reset. And now we get a chance tonight in Austin to go against the Spurs and start stacking wins.
So on the court, what elements do you think this team needs? What boxes do they need to check to kind of get on that run, to level up a little bit, in your opinion?
It's the careless turnovers. We've had critical turnovers at critical moments. Uncharacteristic, but sometimes characteristic for this team. We've been in games and we've had opportunities to close, and I said that we haven't closed well enough to win games. And so late game execution, finishing possessions, we've had just too many small miscues that if we correct, we're looking at a totally different outlook for the season.
Kevin Durant was talking to the media in Austin, and he kind of echoed something he said during the All-Star break too, James, about how do you turn this around? It starts, in his eyes, through defense and rebounding, two areas that have been inconsistent for this team. And we were discussing it earlier. How much of that is how much of that is personnel related in your mind? And is that something that can be overcome by this current group?
No, I mean, some of it, you're going into games where you're just outside.
Yeah.
They're more athletic, they're bigger. You're not going to change that in game. You just have to be smarter. You have to counter that with effort. But then you just have to counter with execution. Like I say, low man wins, inside position always prevails. And if we start on the defensive end, that typically means that we're playing in transition, and we're a better team in transition just because teams can't load up against us. But yeah, it's execution, basic things that we work on every day. And at some point, it becomes want to. We just got to want it more than our opponent. And we've had too many times this year where we haven't demonstrated that want to.
All right, there was a speculation for a while that when it was reported that maybe Bradley Beal was being shopped, that how he was dealing with those rumors, and most recently, obviously, KD. Look, you wouldn't be doing your job if you didn't answer the phone and if you weren't always looking for ways to better your team, and players do understand that. But is there a feeling now that once the trade deadline is over, this team can kind of rally around what they have inside, that they can put all of that behind them?
Always. I mean, I think too often we forget that these guys are human, and these guys are people, and they hear and they consume, and they know when the team isn't performing the way we want it to, that we're all interested in getting better. And so my job is always to look at things, but it's also a testament to the talent of this group. Teams, they like our players. They're interested in our players because they are good players, and they try to be opportunistic. And so both ways, we always try to make sure that we aren't being blind to the facts. When a team's not performing, something's got to improve, something's got to change. We'll make a bunch of different tweaks. But at the end of the day, once you get to the All-Star break and guys know where they're finishing their season, it's a lot easier to lock in and focus and rally around that one mission, which is get as many wins as you can and take this season as far as you can.
James Jones, president of basketball operations for the Suns, our guest here during Newsmakers Week. Specifically on the Kevin Durant issue, and Kevin has been pretty open and honest about his feelings and what went down and what didn't go down. Has there been a smoothing over between the front office, yourself, and Kevin Durant and his people? Do you feel that's necessary if it hasn't happened?
No, I mean, I think that's the story everyone wants to talk about. Kevin is unique in the sense that he tells you exactly how he feels, and he understands this game top and bottom. He's competitive like everyone else. And so no smoothing over because he wants to do what we want to do, which is win. And he's been great. I mean, I think it's a testament to his ability to just put the game above everything else. And we're definitely aware that, the narratives will continue to bubble up. And like I said, when you're not winning, it gets noisy. And so the only way we can counter that is to win games and stack wins. And if we do that, I think we'll have the outcome that we set out to achieve at the beginning of the season, which is be extremely competitive and win some games.
Now, Mike Budenholzer came in with a reputation of building really good defensive teams. There have been a lot of people who have been confused by some of the rotations and some of the deployment of your players. Have you guys had any conversations of what those rotations or adjustments to maybe a starting lineup might look like coming out of the break, or do you stay out of that kind of out of that realm and leave that stuff to him?
No, I mean, ultimately, the lineup is coaches. That's his job. I mean, he's one of the best at it. This is a new team for him. It's a new team for us. So I think a lot of times what you see is Bud trying to find combinations of players that fit. But like all things, everything's up for discussion. And rotations are those things where you have 48 minutes to figure it out. Who starts, who comes off the bench. You tweak that, but at the end of the day, you just want to make sure you have the best lineups together when it really matters.
Along those lines, Coach Budenholzer made the determination, I don't know how many games it's been, but to put Bradley Beal on the bench along with Yusuf Nurkic. Nurk is no longer here. Bradley Beal is. Could you see, were the results of that stretch satisfactory enough to stay with that in your mind, or could we see Bradley Beal back in the starting lineup?
I think things evolve. It could be. It's a possibility. I mean, we won't shut anything out. There are no hard definites. I think the move to Brad to the bench actually gave him some balance and kind of evened things out for us so that we had kind of a consistent high level talent on the floor, tried to minimize those gaps. But like I said before, we're always evolving. We're always thinking about how we can make this team the best version of itself. And as we continue to build through the season, if we have to make some changes to lineups, rotations, minutes, we'll do it.
I know this team is very much in the now. You got 28 games left. There still are goals that you illustrated that are on the table for this team to accomplish. But we have to play the what-if game. What if those goals aren't met? What if you're on the outside looking in when April rolls around, James?
We'll cross that when we get there. I mean, I think for us, it really makes no sense for us to get too far ahead of ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like we're in it day to day, and it's about winning this season. I told someone the other day, COVID almost ended the NBA. So if you were thinking the season beyond that, you would have been wasting your time. We're always thinking about how we continue to build for the future, but this team is focused on the now, and we have to be because this is what's in front of us.
James, appreciate you spending some time with us today and answering some questions that I know our listeners were wondering about. So we thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Anytime.
Thanks, Champ. James Jones, President of Basketball Operations, General Manager for the Phoenix Suns. He joined us on the Arizona Sports Line. We'll have some reaction to James Jones because the season kicks back up tonight. Suns in Austin against the Spurs. That's all straight ahead. It's Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
I fully acknowledge it's the position they may be in, but it's not typically how you get better by trading a guy that, as he just said, is your best player and your hardest worker. What do you think they need to get back?
Does Houston still have our picks?
They do.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
I need 3 first-round picks, and I need a really good young player because if you trade him to Houston, Houston's probably going to the NBA Finals next year, and I would bring that up in negotiations. Okay. You're getting Kevin Durant.
There you go.
I'm putting you in the NBA Finals.
Somebody's going to work, and he's going to score the basketball.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. Sports fans know you've got to go big, as in big screen televisions, because these games we love so much, they cannot be watched on tablets or phones or laptops. At least not in my house, they can't. They've got to be bigger than life. This is why you head on down to Walt's TV and Appliance. They've got everything you need to take your fandom to the next level. They have got the largest selection of big screen televisions you're going to find. If you want to go really big, go check out their 115-inch television in their theater room. It will blow your mind. They also price match. So if you're of the belief that if you're going to go to Walt's and you're going to get all their expertise and you're going to get all that great selection, that you're going to pay a premium, that you're going to pay more, you are wrong. Walt's extremely competitive, as much so as the big box stores. They will price match. You bring them a price you like, they'll match that. They'll also give you 30 days of price protection after the sale. Two other quick incentives. Through April 1st, Walt's will give you a free Samsung portable lifestyle projector if you opt for a Q-Series television, 75 inches or bigger. Perfect mini projector you can take anywhere to stream all your favorite content. It's a $600 value. And when you're at Walt's or on the phone with Walt's, drop my name. You're going to get 10% off installation labor or a 3-year warranty for free. You can find Walt's off the I-10 in Warner, or you can call them at 480-968-4999. Shop local, shop Walt's.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
Dave Burns back here with Jimmy V, founder of V's Barbershop, and a heartfelt congratulations on 25 years of V's.
Well, thank you, Dave.
You think back to 1999 when you opened the first one, and we were talking a second ago. Luis Gonzalez hadn't happened yet. Kurt Warner hadn't happened yet. Heck, Tom Brady was still in college. A lot has changed. You walk into a V's Barbershop, you wouldn't feel like anything has changed, and that's a real testament to your vision when it comes to these.
I think we kind of nailed it. Men are still the same. You know, we're just dudes. We're just guys. They want to go in a place that makes them feel comfortable. They want to go see the same barber. They want to have the same experience. They want their kids to have that same experience. I want V's to be that place that is a comfortable pair of jeans. It's the Saturday sweatshirt. It's the place that you know I feel good about going to. Man, this puts a smile on my face going in, even bigger smile coming out. You're going to remember your barbershop.
So put a smile on your face. Go to vbarbershop.com. Book a haircut or a hot lather shave today at V's.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. NASCAR Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Hey, it's Gambo. The Phoenix Suns are back in action tonight. Can they get past the Spurs if Victor Wembanyama isn't standing in their way? We'll discuss it, too, here on Arizona Sports.
No, I mean, I think that's the story everyone wants to talk about. Kevin is unique in the sense that he tells you exactly how he feels, and he understands this game top and bottom. He's competitive like everyone else. And so no smoothing over because he wants to do what we want to do, which is win. And he's been great. I mean, I think it's a testament to his ability to just put the game above everything else. And we're definitely aware that, the narratives will continue to bubble up. And like I said, when you're not winning, it gets noisy. And so the only way we can counter that is to win games and stack wins. And if we do that, I think we'll have the outcome that we set out to achieve at the beginning of the season, which would be extremely competitive and win some games.
It's James Jones, who just joined us on Newsmakers Week 2025. They're addressing the subject that a lot of people were talking about right after the trade deadline. And now with the league starting back up tonight, people still have it on their minds. Is there a smoothing over process that was needed with Kevin Durant? And I'll say this on both sides, and I appreciate James Jones' answer, and I appreciate what Kevin Durant has said on both of it. I think Kevin Durant was probably a little bit more forthright with his feelings when he's asked, hey, you might want to ask the front office about my future in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But yes, it's business on both sides. It's business. And the way you phrased the question to James Jones was, you wouldn't be doing your job if you're not looking at all avenues to improve this team.
Right.
So we get it on both sides, but that doesn't mean there's not awkwardness.
No, that's it. That's exactly right. And Kevin Durant is a complex guy.
Yes.
He does tell you how he feels, and I think you could almost feel what he was feeling. There was a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of he seemed to be wearing some hurt over even being mentioned as a potential a trade. From my standpoint, that seems a little bit ridiculous for a guy that has been that has moved on from organizations and knows the business better than anybody, and knows that these trade rumors are out there. But I think, like you say, if you're a player as decorated as Kevin Durant, this stuff does matter, and you don't want to believe that your organization doesn't value you the way that you think they should. And I'm certain that the whole idea of you're going to trade me for Jimmy Butler, I'm sure that bothers him on some level. But again, if the names were coming back that Gambo said were coming back, which would be Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga and maybe a couple of picks, I would have done that deal in a heartbeat. Even though Jimmy Butler is nowhere near the player Kevin Durant is. So I understand it. But you're right. When you're a player on the inside, especially a player who remains so good at his age.
Well, the timing of it was so not ideal. This is Kevin Durant also reaching a milestone that 7 other players had reached in the NBA.
Yeah, that's true.
And that comes on the heels of remember, when somebody asked Kevin Durant, hey, you've been through this before, and he said, let me make something perfectly clear. I've never been through this before. Kevin Durant has always been the guy who orchestrates where he's going to be. It's never happened without his say-so. And it didn't happen again. He's here where he wants to be for now. But just that whole stew of things coming together, that plus chasing 30,000 points and, the love and adoration that he got, well-deserved. Again, that's a milestone a handful of guys have reached. And that had to affect him a little bit.
And also the timing of how everything played out. I know you're saying there was other things, Kuminga and draft picks and stuff, but it so felt that everything was so hyper-focused on Jimmy Butler that the Suns said, well, if we can't trade Bradley Beal, we'll trade Kevin Durant because we really want Jimmy Butler. So to Kevin Durant, like you were saying, he had to feel some of the, well, they want this guy instead of me kind of thing.
Yeah, and one place I wanted to kind of go, but I think in thinking of the question, I answered it myself, was there seemed to be a fascination on the Suns' part before the trade deadline hit of kind of big game hunting, whether it was going to be Bradley Beal moving on for Jimmy Butler or Kevin Durant moving on for Jimmy Butler. Did that preclude them from doing anything else on the edges that could have improved this team? And we saw the Nick Richards trade, and he's been okay, and they got rid of Nurk, but we haven't seen any results from either one of the players involved in that trade from Charlotte yet. So, but then again, Grayson Allen, I guess, did he get discussed? Did Royce O'Neal get discussed? Did Monte Morris or Tyus Jones get discussed? I mean, I think there were opportunities for this team to improve more around the edges than they did, but I wonder if the timing...
That's a really, really great question, because you would think that one of those two, Grayson Allen or Royce O'Neal, could have been spun off for something different, something that better suits the current mix. And then the Tyus Jones thing. Clearly it's not worked the way that we thought it would, and he's seen as a very good player, but like you said, he's not making a ton. So maybe working so hard and so long to get that blockbuster done. You're right. Maybe
they thought that's what the only thing that would have really changed things was a blockbuster.
And maybe that's true as well.
Yeah, help around the edges. How much was it going to affect things? Bick also asked James Jones, which I thought was interesting, this talk of turnaround. Kevin Durant's talked about rebounding and defense being at the heart of it. Here's what James Jones said, what's on his mind about what could make a turnaround possible.
It's the careless turnovers. We've had critical turnovers at critical moments. Uncharacteristic, but sometimes characteristic for this team. We've been in games and we've had opportunities to close, and I said that we haven't closed well enough to win games. And so late game execution, finishing possessions, we've had just too many small miscues that if we correct, we're looking at a totally different outlook for the season.
I mean, those are all in the mix. I mean,
did like how he said uncharacteristic, but characteristic for this team.
Yeah. Well, I think what he's meaning, it's uncharacteristic for any NBA team,
right?
But not this one.
Yeah, and especially something that was supposed to be corrected to a much larger degree from last year when this team wasn't rolling out any traditional point guards.
No,
not pointing at Tyus Jones solely or Monte Morris, but I didn't think turnovers would be the same issue as they were last year.
Oh, no.
And it might be worse this year.
Yes. And the defense is noticeably worse from last year.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the only way it's going to change is if the people internally now realize, okay, it's us or bust, and really kind of rally around something. And I hope they have it in them. I just really, really have my doubts.
Yep. Thanks again to James Jones for joining us during Newsmakers Week. Coming up next, the Diamondbacks had a very, very active offseason and are getting a lot of rave reviews for it, but not from everybody. We'll tell you more about that next. Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
All-Star break over. Now the Suns meet the Spurs in San Antonio. CP3 and Wemby joined by De'Aaron Fox, so the Spurs got stronger after that trade, which is great for the Western Conference where the Suns are concerned. Fantastic. Will the Suns be able to contain Wemby, Fox, and the Spurs? Is everyone on the Suns healthy? Is everyone on the Suns cool after some folks almost got traded? Suns at the Spurs, 6:30 pregame, 7:30 tip right here. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
All right, a little Sonic trivia for you on a Thursday morning. Did you know Sonic started as a root beer stand in Oklahoma way back in the 50s? Back then, you had to park in a gravel parking lot, cross a busy thoroughfare, placed your order from a little tiny takeout window. They handed you a brown paper sack, and there you go. That was your experience. The experience at Sonic changed dramatically over the years. It is super cool. One of the reasons I love Sonic, you pull into a shaded parking spot. A great menu is right outside your driver's side window. You place your order. You don't have to move a muscle. You're being served curbside by an iconic car hop. Piece of trivia number 2, Reba McEntire loves Sonic. In fact, her nickname, and I know this for a fact, her nickname is Tater Tot, and her favorite tater tots are at Sonic. One of many great side items you are going to find on that menu. Lots of reasons to head on down to Sonic when you're hungry. Live free. Eat Sonic.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly. Auto Parts.
Hey, Wolf here from my brothers and sisters at Santan Ford. That's right, you've heard me talking about my Santan Ford F-150 and the Warrior Queens Expedition and how we are Santan Ford. Well, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, do yourself a favor. Go check out the hundreds of new and used vehicles at Santan Ford. Located at the Santan 202 in Val Vista in Gilbert, Tim Hovick and the great team at Santan Ford will take care of you. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford.
Home buying season is right around the corner, and now is a perfect time to make your move. Whether you're buying your first home or upgrading your home, you deserve to work with a mortgage company who can close on time and put you first. We are seeing a shift in the market, and now is your opportunity. Don't stress over complicated paperwork or hidden fees. When you work with the Lund team, it's all about making the process simple and straightforward. This home buying season, work with a team that's always here for you. Go to lundmortgage.com. That's lundmortgage.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. The Diamondbacks open Cactus League play tomorrow when the D-backs host the Rockies. The big free agent acquisition, Corbin Burns, is going to be on the mound. He signed that 6-year, $210 million deal. He's a 4-time All-Star and a former Cy Young winner. It's a 1:10 start time. While we're talking baseball, a lot has been said about the money being thrown around. However, consider this. 22 of the 30 teams have lowered payroll, and 8 teams have accounted for 75% of the spending. And even though the collective bargaining agreement isn't up until December of next year, the owners are talking salary cap. We know the players hate it. Work stoppage next. We'll see. Right now, let's play some baseball. Diamondbacks Rockies coming up tomorrow. It is the final of the Four Nations tournament between Team USA and Canada tonight. Face off at 6 o'clock in TD Garden in Boston. The U.S. won the first meeting in Montreal 3-1 on Saturday. And the Suns are back in action tonight for the first time after the All-Star break. The upcoming stretch, though, is going to be tough. 4 games in 6 days, all on the road beginning tonight in Austin, Texas against the Spurs. Kevin Durant, who played his year of basketball at UT, is still a fan favorite there. This report is brought to you by APS. Visit APS Solutions for Business for ways to help your business make smarter use of energy while saving money. Schedule a free consultation today.
Hey everybody, it's Burnsy. So which Diamondbacks hitter are we the most curious about this spring? The Burns and Gambo Show. It's from 2 to 6, and it's here on Arizona Sports.
I think we checked off a few of them. The problem with the job that I have and the way I view it is that list is way longer than we ever get to really check off. So, how do we feel about the offseason? I feel like we did some good things to put this team together. I feel like there's a lot of things that are still uncertain with where we are in the season. I think just getting comfortable with that. Nobody has a perfect team going into the year. As we know, you're part of our job now becomes making adjustments during the season. Try to build up as much depth as you can in the offseason, but you have to come to grips with the reality that you're not going to put together the team that you're going to finish with.
That's Mike Hazen, general manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He joined us on day 1 of Newsmakers Week, back on Tuesday, talking about what they did accomplish, what they didn't accomplish. And it's one of the things I like about Mike Hazen. He's not going to puff his chest out and say, oh, we did everything we wanted to do. This team is complete.
No.
It's always a work in progress.
Yes. Yeah, he's always unflinchingly honest, and I love it.
Yeah, and you've been, not just now, but even during the lean times for the Diamondbacks, you've been pretty consistent in your assessment of Mike Hazen, your belief that he is a top general manager in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
A lot of people believe with that, especially with the architecture of this team being what it is. The Athletic did off-season grades for every major league team, and there were 5 teams that got A grades. The Boston Red Sox, Los Angeles Dodgers, New York Mets, New York Yankees, Arizona Diamondbacks.
Wow.
So that's
good company.
That is the high rent district, and that is, yes, rewarding the teams that were ultra aggressive in free agency and spent money in the offseason. The Diamondbacks are right there. They talked about the Corbin Burns addition, the trade for Josh Naylor, getting Kendall Graveman, who's kind of under the radar because he didn't pitch last year and he's coming back from an injury and he's in his mid-30s. That could be a very, very shrewd late signing by Mike Hazen. But we're in agreement. He's really good at what he does.
Yes,
and his staff is top-notch, too.
Yeah.
But you pointed this out to me. Brian Kenny, who works for MLB Network, put out his list, best front office members in Major League Baseball among active general managers and presidents of baseball ops. His top 10, Andrew Friedman from the Dodgers, Alex Anthopoulos from the Braves, Erik Neander from Tampa Bay, Dave Dombrowski, Philadelphia, Brian Cashman of the Yankees, Washington's Mike Rizzo, David Stearns from the Mets, A.J. Preller, San Diego, Chris Young, Texas, Mike Elias from Baltimore. No Mike Hazen in the top 10.
And that's ridiculous. That is patently absurd in my opinion. I understand the infatuation with Andrew Friedman. I understand that he's considered the best in baseball, and some people don't even think it's close.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. But I think you also have to recognize the kind of resources he gets now. And
I think he's still high on this particular list, and I'm not trying to get into Brian Kenny's head, but Andrew Friedman proved himself before he was part of the Dodgers.
Yeah, right.
So
he did.
His track record was pretty sterling for a team in the opposite end of the financial spectrum.
Where Alex Anthopoulos, who's, as you pointed out, is with the Braves, he's the guy that came from the Dodgers. I get that, but not to be in the top 10, I mean, that's just patently absurd.
Let's just go to the middle of the list. Mike Hazen left off and Brian Cashman at number 5.
Yeah, you heard me laugh, right?
Brian Cashman has been there for a long time.
Yeah.
The New York Yankees have one World Series appearance since 2009. They have 0 World Series wins since 2009.
That's right. They were swept. That's right.
He's had resources the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know why that guy makes that list. I really don't. Mike Hazen, I've said for a while now, I would not trade Mike Hazen and Torey Lovello for any other GM manager combo in baseball. I just wouldn't. And I think it's starting to kind of bear out what I believe in. And I also think that along the way, the Diamondbacks are really, I don't know if they meant to learn to be this way, because we know that Torey was on a series of one-year contracts, prove-it kind of contracts. But to look up now and have him in his 9th season for a manager that is sub 500, and that record, by the way, is not an indication of his managerial skills. What it is an indication of is they've stuck with him through down times. And I love the fact that they're looking back on this now and going, man, we were patient, and for whatever reasons made us patient, man, did we make the right decision. It's exactly what the Steelers do. It's what the great NFL franchises do. I say it all the time. If you know the people you have running your sports franchise are elite, if you know they're super good at their jobs, you stick with them through tough times.
Yeah. And Derek Hall was forthright about that with us, too. Said, hey, I think in the past, because Derek's been here through numerous regimes, he said in the past, maybe we didn't show enough patience in guys that were in charge.
Yeah.
And that has not been the case with Torey Lovello, especially. I mean, the actual fall, you have a couple of years like the Diamondbacks had in 20 and 21. There's not a lot of managers that get to see the other side of that. So they did show extreme patience, which is very, very rare in today's, not just baseball, in sports in general.
Well, and it also happened because they've got a GM who's willing to put his hand up. So when things went haywire in 2020 and then the pandemic baseball, they were atrocious. When all that went down, Mike Hazen could have easily, if he were a different person, gone to the owner and gone, it's the manager's fault. It's not my fault. It's the manager's fault. He's always been the guy to go, I failed him. I didn't give him a starter. I exposed us in the playoffs. My fault. My bad. That's what I love about Mike Hazen. In a business where everybody is, and I'm talking about all sports now, in a business where sports executives operate out of fear and holy terror of losing their jobs to the point where they'll make really bad decisions just to insulate themselves. It's exactly the opposite with this guy.
Yeah.
You don't find that very often.
And a lot of the outside critique or analysis of the Diamondbacks roster going into this year is a lot of people say, well, there's no holes. And I agree with that. But are there divots? Are there spots that might be, you look at the closer position. And Mike Hazen talked about that with us as well, that, they've got candidates. I don't think, going back to his original answer when I asked him about checking boxes of what you wanted to accomplish, I think they'd probably like a more clear-cut solution at closer right now, even though it's only February 20th. But that doesn't mean they don't have that guy on the roster right now.
DH to me. Will they get the power from DH that they did last year?
I'll answer that question. I don't think, I might be wrong. I've doubted Pavin Smith before. I don't think Pavin Smith can match the power numbers that Jock Peterson did, even in a part-time role.
Yeah, I don't either.
But then again, we saw Pavin Smith come up to bat in Houston on a Sunday night with a chance to hit four home runs and 4 at-bats. So
That's right. That's right.
That doesn't happen all the time either.
Right, yeah. But I'll tell you this, as an emergency glove, it's better than Jock Peterson.
Well, we could say this now because Jock is a Ranger. Did he even own a glove? He didn't play one inning of defense.
You couldn't ride his Segway if he had a glove on, that's what, or whatever that was.
Hoverboard,
sorry.
Yeah.
Did he even bring a glove to Arizona?
That's
a good question. Yeah.
Batting gloves, certainly.
Yeah.
Not to say that there aren't other people concerned about that, Jarrett. And there's an article on ArizonaSports.com right now by Alex Weiner. ArizonaSports.com presented by Y-Refi.
Yeah.
There we go.
And you can read about the Diamondbacks' confidence that Pavin Smith is that guy. And Torey Lovello, and the article says this too, Torey Lovello has been saying, we know Pavin Smith can hit at a major league level. So if he's...
it would be a cool story.
If his focus is on hitting this year, just against right-handers... That's a load off a guy's shoulders.
He's been up and down for years now, and it would be cool if he got the opportunity and finally start. Christian Walker, it took him a while to get the opportunity, and then he became a star.
Arizona Sports is giving you the chance to experience Extra Innings Festival. You'll see performances by the Lumineers, Casey Musgraves, Kings of Leon, many more. Head to the contest page now at ArizonaSports.com, presented by Y-Refi for complete details and your chance to win tickets. Coming up next, Newsmakers Week continues. We'll continue to talk baseball, this time of the college variety. ASU head coach Willie Bloomquist joining us in studio next. Bickley and Marotta Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Cactus League is underway.
There's a swing and a drive deep to left field. Profar backtrack, wall and gone. Off the bench. And an instant impact for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. A pinch hit home run.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot. The home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Dave Burns here, and I'm with Liberty GMC General Manager Chris Scott. Chris, GMC trucks are built to handle just about anything. What makes them stand out?
What's up, Dave? Whether you need a powerhouse like the Sierra or the versatility of a Canyon, GMC trucks deliver. They're tough,
capable, and packed with smart features for work or play. And right now, we're offering up to $13,750 off the GMC Sierra 1500 or 5.9% financing for 72 months on the brand new Canyon. Shop online all the time. LibertyGMCAZ.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Golf responsibly with Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewery, Arizona's #1 craft brewery. Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is easy to enjoy with subtle notes of passion fruit, orange, and guava flavors and a crisp, refreshing finish. Whether you're enjoying a round of golf or kicking back with friends, Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is perfect for any occasion. Check out Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale from Four Peaks Brewing at your local restaurant or retailer. Golf responsibly.
Golf Galaxy Performance Center is now open at Ahwatukee Foothills Town Center. Visit your new #1 golf destination to try the latest clubs from Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Ping. Explore new styles from brands like Travis Matthew, Bad Birdie, and Walter Hagen. Dial in your game with our expert services, including lessons, club repair, and more. Plus, earn points with every purchase when you sign up for Scorecard. Learn more at golfgalaxy.com/Phoenix.
In celebration of Arizona being the 48th state of the Union and Ford trucks being #1 in sales for 48 straight years, Sanderson Ford is celebrating President's Day with a presidential sale on 848 new vehicles. Net A with savings of $4,800 or more.
Save up to $4,800 on Bronco Sport Badlands. Save up to $10,000 off on F-150, STX, and XLT trucks. And save up to $10,000 off on full-size Bronco Badlands. Sanderson Ford also has 25 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from, priced at $25,000 or less.
Shop with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense, and see why Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Presidential Sale.
Offers on 2024 models and include Ford rebates, Sanderson discounts, and Conquest cash and flex buy discounts you must qualify for. See dealer for details. All offers expire March 3rd, 2025.
Why do 80% of NFL players have a Sleep Number smart bed?
Matthew Stafford here with the LA Rams. Because when I get high quality sleep, I make high quality plays. But that's not the only reason.
Hi, me, Kelly Stafford. I'm the other reason. He likes his side firm and cool, and I like my side soft, warm, and cozy.
Sleep Number does that and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting.
You're the #1 reason, by the way.
And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com. Official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona State University.
College baseball season is underway. It's been a good start for the Arizona State Sun Devils, and we are joined by their head coach, Willie Bloomquist, who joins us in studio for Newsmakers Week. Willie, thanks for coming in again. Good to see you.
You bet. Good to see you guys.
Gotta love it. 4-0 start. Got started last weekend with a 3-game sweep of Ohio State. You beat Austin Peay. Tell us what you've seen from your team so far.
Well, we got some things to work on for sure, but nice to get 4 W's out of the gates. These guys are resilient. We've been battle tested already here in the first 4 games. So I like the fact that they bounced back from giving up a lead or getting behind early. They've come back in all 4 games and won all 4 of them, which is good. But there's some things we got to clean up and work on. But these guys are resilient, and I think they'll continue to get better.
Let's back up a second because we're just reminiscing about that 11 series against the Brewers, and with all due respect to the torment you still feel, I think it's great that you care that much. Because Willie was just talking about that game-winning hit. Was it Niger Morgan who did it? And you dove and laid out, and it was just so close, and it's still haunting you.
Still stings a little bit, man. That was such a fun team, and we had a fearless leader in Kirk Gibson. It was our type of team, man.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of overachievers that had no business being there in the first place, and when you have that type of team that's not expected to do a lot, and you kind of shock the world, and ultimately you come up just a hair short. It stings a little bit, and it was such a fun team. We had a lot of good memories, a lot of good guys in that team.
One of the cool things, and I say this to underscore the fact that I think you had 15 years in the bigs.
I think 13.
13 years in the bigs.
14.
Okay,
yeah.
So the point is, you don't need to be doing your current job. You're doing it out of love for your school, and that needs to be underscored. Is that true? Is that why you're doing this?
Well, yeah, it's no secret I love Arizona State, and you know, I retired from playing. I had blessed with a great career, and I was home with my family and doing that. I was still doing a little, you know, work with the Diamondbacks, you know, to stay busy. But asked plenty of times if I wanted to coach or manage, and the answer was always no. Just simply because I'm not going to be good at anything unless I'm passionate about it. And really, at that point in time, the only thing I would have been really passionate about coaching or teaching would have been at my alma mater.
Yeah.
And stars aligned, and I got a phone call and said, "Hey, man, would you be seriously consider doing this?" And I kind of got nervous, and the butterflies started going. I said, well, this is where I'm supposed to be, I think. If this opportunity comes up, I would do it, and it did shortly after. And, man, I love what I'm doing. It's a very difficult job, but I love what I'm doing. These guys keep me young, and they keep me active and on my toes, and I couldn't ask for a better gig right now.
Willie Bloomquist, head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils baseball program, our guest in studio for Newsmakers Week. We were talking a little bit off the air about what this team does well, and it started last year at the end of the year. The eye-popping offensive numbers, certainly we've seen that so far. How sustainable is that for a full season? Is that the strength of this year's ball club?
I think it's definitely. I think that the strength and we do have some good arms as well. You know, we play in an offensive ballpark. That's no question about that. But I think we have an older group, and we're not. You know, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but we're not firing on all cylinders yet offensively. We got some guys that are capable of doing a lot more damage than they have already, and I think when they get going, you really see some numbers pop, hopefully. But at the end of the day, yeah, I think our ability to score runs off anybody and different layers to our offense, that's going to be our strength. And you know, you mix that in with some pretty decent arms this year. I think we got a shot to do some good things.
All right, so you've already got one Big 12 Player of the Week in Brandon Compton, right? So why don't you go ahead and highlight some other players, other elements of the team that people should know about?
Well, I think starting pitching, Ben Jacobs is a highly touted left-hander that has done a great job for us, and he's our Friday night guy. Jack Martinez is a senior transfer that's come in and done a really nice job for us last weekend. Look for him to continue to do his things, and it's really cool to see some of these guys that were here last year make a jump. You know, with their progression, and Jaden Alba has taken over kind of the Sunday starting job and done a really nice job last weekend, and look for him to keep getting better. So we got a whole slew of arms that are still trying to figure out their roles and where they fit in, but it's good problems. Last few years, we were trying to get anybody off the street to come in and throw strikes for us. But I think we have a lot of guys that are capable of getting out. It's just a matter of what role they start filling in. You know, Will Koger's a transfer that we brought in from Louisville, and he was touching some 98s. You know, his last game out, when he's got a cannon for an arm that you know, is really impressive at times. And Lucas Kelly is another kid that's good. But you know, offensive standpoint, having Jacob Tobias back is big. You know, having that kid that snuck through the draft last year. I still don't know why he didn't get the opportunity, but he didn't. And good news for the Devils, he's back with us. And Kian Vu, another All-American that we got back, and New Contradas is healthy. So between those guys, Isaiah Jackson, we have a chance to be okay.
Bick said it, Big 12 Player of the Week. And it's an adjustment for us to not say Pac. And I know you haven't gone through the conference schedule yet, but compare the two conferences, because Pac-12 is so, you know, historically such a good baseball conference. How does the Big 12 potentially stack up against what Arizona State fans are used to seeing in conference play?
Well, I think, you know, there's going to be some great teams in the Big 12, and you know, I've been shy about it. I'm a West Coast guy and grew up in the Pac-12, and as we're going to miss that conference, this conference has been awesome out of the gates, and they're sharp. We have a commissioner that's aggressive and sharp, and a conference that's really organized with what they want to do and things that we want to accomplish. But as far as the competition is concerned, there's some really good teams. Oklahoma State, TCU, Cincinnati just jumped into the top 25. That plays a really interesting brand of baseball. You know, Central Florida, Baylor, you know, Texas Tech. There's a lot of good teams out there and the Kansas schools are always pretty tough. So West Virginia, another one that we're going to have our hands full. And I'll be anxious to see what style as we, you know, start playing these teams, what style of play that they do. As we kind of had it dialed in with our own conference,
Right.
how teams like to play, but we're anxious to see what style of play these different teams throw at us.
I'm curious what you think the current temperature of college baseball is, because for years the decision for a young player was either go right to minor leagues, get your signing bonus, get a little money, get started on your career, work your way up, or go to college. Now that you can get paid playing college baseball, has it changed that dynamic?
I think absolutely. It's not only changed it, it's made it more competitive. It's getting older, with there only being 20 rounds in the draft and less professional level teams. There's not as many A-ball teams, so the competition for those spots in pro ball is less. There's less spots, so those guys go back to college for their senior year. Jacob Tobias, perfect example. College baseball needs those guys, and when those guys come back for their senior year, man, it makes teams better. It makes it more exciting. And, what ultimately that means is the high school kids are going to have tougher time, getting to the Power 4 level. But for college baseball as a whole, I think it's extremely healthy. It's only getting better. And I think that trend is it's an exciting brand of baseball right now. It's only getting better.
And we talked to Graham Rossini, the athletic director, a couple days ago on the news about baseball specifically next year. It's still a year off, but this new movement now to go from 11.7 scholarships, partial scholarships, to 34 full baseball scholarships, and ASU being at the forefront of that. How much does that make your mouth water looking into the future?
Oh man, what a breath of fresh air that was. To get that news that Graham and Dr. Crow at the university were willing to invest in college baseball and invest in our program. It's been 3 tough years trying to keep up with the Joneses in the NIL world, and we're way behind in that. At least we were from that perspective, but now getting this news that the university is going to fully support our baseball program and do everything they can to get us back to where we expect to be, that's very helpful, and I'm obviously very appreciative of that. And I think hopefully we'll start seeing the fruits of that labor here in the next couple of years. It obviously takes a couple of years for those scholarships to start kicking in, but man, to have that flexibility to move forward with that is it's huge for us. So very excited about it. Very, again, appreciative to our president, President Crow and Graham to get that done. It's awesome.
Well, ASU baseball has got such a rich history and a legacy, and as Graham said, it's really cool that Pat Murphy, who you played for, is sort of being folded back into the program. That must make you happy.
Oh, he should be. He's what he's. We've had great coaches here at ASU, and obviously I'm a little biased. I played for Murph, and he's the best, man. I mean, I love the guy. I've said this a million times. He's like a second father to me. He just makes people around him feel better about themselves, and he just has a way of motivating people and getting them to do things that, man, they didn't think they could do. And he just seeing him the other day back at the ballpark, came out early, and next thing I know, I've talked to him the whole batting practice, and I didn't do anything with our own players just because I was entrenched in talking to Murph. And it's like, well, this is more important.
Right.
I gotta get watered from Murph here a little bit and start feeling better about myself.
That's
so
fantastic.
He just is, he has a way of just, like I said, how he talks and articulates things is outstanding. I'm sure you saw the Bob Uecker tribute that he did in the locker room the other day. He just has a way of making people go, wow, well said, Murph. And he's very good at what he does.
Well, Willie, thanks for making the trip in. Always good to talk ASU baseball with you. Off to the good start. Hope it continues.
I appreciate it. Fan support, I just want to give a quick shout out. Fan support's been outstanding here early on.
That crowd you got was fantastic.
Yeah, just thanks to the fans, and keep it coming. It's electric out at Muni, and it's been a lot of fun baseball.
Yeah. Best of luck, Willie. Thanks so much.
Guys.
Willie Bloomquist, head coach of the ASU baseball program, our guest in studio for Newsmakers Week 2025. We continue the Thursday show, Social Studies with Jarrett Carlin, next. Bickley and Murata Mornings on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Here are the top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com, brought to you by Y Refi. I'm Tyler Drake. Suns don't feel the need to smooth things over with Kevin Durant after trade deadline, says GM James Jones. The Diamondbacks are optimistic Pavin Smith can fill a platoon role after 2024 improvements, and new offensive line coach Justin Frye fits Cardinals mold like a square peg in a square hole. Those are the top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com, brought to you by Y Refi.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here with a real-life story of why you call Parker & Sons for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. And I'm talking about my real-life story. Last week, I had a plumbing emergency. My son busted in my room. Hey, Dad, the toilet downstairs is leaking. Sure enough, I had a small lake in my bathroom. I had to get off to work. I got in my car. I called Parker & Sons at 4:30 in the morning, and to my surprise, a real person answered the phone. Got me on the books. By the time I got home from radio, they had already been to my home. They had already fixed my issue. That, to me, was beyond impressive, but that's what Parker & Sons does. They'll get to you in minutes, not days. They'll come to your rescue in your time of need. They've been serving the Valley for 50-plus years. They're reputable, highly decorated, fast, reliable, trustworthy, credible. All their techs are licensed, insured. They're trust certified. They are who you want coming into your home. A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau as well. So whatever you need, they are the firm you call with your biggest asset. Call 602-2REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
Homeowners, while many agents are making very big promises, Carol Royce with your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is famous for her written guarantees. Now, unlike some agents who promise a very unrealistic price just to get your business, Carol's going to provide you an upfront written guarantee to sell your home for 100% of market value. Or Carol's going to pay you the difference. So if you're ready to sell your home in 2025, sell with confidence and for full market value, call Carol Royce today or visit carolhasthebuyers.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Being hurt in an accident can change your life, and we want you to be empowered in that situation. That's why we tell you to call Sweet James. Hey, it's Mike Broomhead. When one of our listeners got hurt in a motorcycle accident, he was shocked by the lowball offer he got from an insurance company. He called Sweet James. The attorneys at Sweet James helped him get the medical care he needed so he can recover as quickly as possible and get on that bike again. They then fought tirelessly to deliver a $400,000 win. If you're ever hurt in an accident, you need a team of local attorneys who have the care, skill, and resources to win the most for you. The compensation is a huge part of that, but it's also about compassion, care, and justice. Sweet James brings over 500 trials of experience to every case, big or small. That's why they win 98% of the time. They can win big. Call Sweet James at 800-9-MILLION. They can't guarantee the outcome, but make sure to have them on your side. 800-9-MILLION, 800-900-0000, or sweetjames.com.
Proud partner of your Phoenix Suns.
The President's Day sales event is still going on at your Valley Chevy dealers. If you're shopping for a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, certified, pre-owned, or even electric, you owe it to yourself to check out your Valley Chevy dealers. Live life bigger in a new Blazer, or the award-winning Equinox, or the roomy and dependable Trax, where versatility meets agility. Don't miss out on the chance to drive yours away. See your Valley Chevy dealers or visit valleychevy.com. Together, let's drive.
So you're in pretty decent shape, but, okay, as we get older, we lose a step.
totally natural part of being a guy. And at Vital for Men, we got your back by helping you get it back. Testosterone replacement therapy is designed to make you feel powerful, sharp, and renewed. Get started today with a free test at one of our 3 Valley-wide locations. And on top of that, we're excited to offer semaglutide to support your health journey even further. Visit Vital4Men.com today. Vital, the number 4men.com. It's time to get it back.
KMBP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. If you're a hockey fan, tonight is your night. It's the final of the Four Nations tournament between Team USA and Canada in Boston's TD Garden. Lots of national pride on the line. Team USA took the first meeting in Montreal, but this one's for the championship. You know, Saturday there were 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. When the gloves drop, when the puck does, well, that makes for good TV. Face-off tonight at 6 o'clock. The Suns are back in action for the first time since the All-Star break tonight. The upcoming stretch, though, is going to be tough. 4 games in 6 days, all of them on the road, beginning tonight in Austin, Texas, against the Spurs. Kevin Durant, who played his year of college basketball at the University of Texas, is still a fan favorite there. Tip-off is 7:30. You can hear it here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. The Diamondbacks host the Rockies tomorrow in Cactus League play. The team's big offseason pickup, Corbin Burns, is going to be on the mound for the D-backs. He signed a 6-year, $210 million deal, 4-time All-Star, former Cy Young winner, and pitched almost 200 innings last year in 32 starts. This report is brought to you by Brooklyn Betting. The President's Sale has been extended. Get 30% off in-store or online through February 25th. Find a showroom today or go to brooklynbetting.com.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Murata Mornings. Social Studies. Brought to you by HigherPrice.com. Carol Royce, your home sold guaranteed realty.
Time to roll into the 9 o'clock hour. Jarrett's here with some social studies. What do you got for us today, Jarrett?
All right, follow us across social media, Bickley_Murata on X, Bickley and Murata on Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Interact with us and participate in social studies. First question. You could base this sort of on expectations, base this on personnel factor and all that stuff. Suns fans, which aspect of the team's play has been more frustrating and disappointing this season? The offense or the defense?
If it's down to those two, you got to pick defense, right?
I do.
Because you fold in defensive rebounding as part of that, and certainly.
Did you have expectations for them to be good at that, though? Defense?
I had expectations to be better than what they've been on both sides of the ball, honestly. But I think the defense has been more deficient.
What were they, 11th or 12th under Frank Vogel?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Right, and they've fallen to about 23rd. So, for me, it's got to be defense.
All right, 72.4% of the audience agrees with you for defense, 27.6% offense. And Tom says it's the defense. They just don't seem to care. Sometimes after they make a shot, they get lazy and don't even hustle back, and the other team gets an immediate fast break dunk. They don't care if they get a rebound. They don't even try for rebounds. KD hasn't boxed out all year. Brian actually votes for a third option, not given. The lack of give a damn. The melancholy nature
which is now
of
an
this,
official stat, by the way, in the NBA.
The melancholy nature of this group is so incredibly frustrating. The Soggy Sack Jones says, you look at this roster and you expect...
Sexy offense.
Yes. Okay.
You probably
should have read that one through. Sorry about that.
That was
first, that was my mistake there. Big hockey game. Big hockey game, which we don't often talk about in social studies, but it is the final of the Four Nations.
Shut up, Jared.
Mini
Shut
tournament.
up, Jared. Can you bring the guests in?
Yeah, believe me, we're a couple minutes left. How interested are you in the Four Nations final between USA and Canada tonight?
Very interested.
Why?
Yeah, I'm very interested in it because it's a gigantic event, and there's a lot in the air. There's a lot of geopolitical conflict. There's a lot of everything in this. And, you know, they always say don't mix sports and politics. This is a collision.
This is politics.
This is This is polisports.
This is politorts. Whatever.
So, yeah, I'm into it. I really, really am. Like everybody else, I was astounded by what went down. I found myself going, yep, just like their old man. I'm talking about the Kachuk boys, whom I efforted to get on the show this week, but he did not get back to me. So I did try, Jarrett.
I appreciate it.
That's wicked piss of you.
Yeah, how about it?
Generally speaking, my interest level goes up for sports like hockey and soccer on the international stage. Like, I don't watch Premier League. I get conversations about it because my son is way into it. But when the World Cup rolls around, I'm into it. Same thing with hockey on the international stage, whether it's a World Cup, Olympics, or this Four Nations face-off. It's been intriguing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
A lot of people pointing out that it's just nice to be able to watch hockey again after losing the Coyotes and have an interest in what is going on. Tom Baum, really excited, says he could not be more excited. I'm going to pay whatever money ESPN demands to watch it. This is the most important event of 2025, and I'm expecting a child this year.
Wow.
Lots of people comparing
Feel bad
it
for your kid.
Yes. I know.
Just joking.
People saying they like the fights, comparing it to the 1980 Team USA Miracle on Ice. People saying they're very excited. Been waiting all week for it. What it must be like to have a hockey team during this time. Should be an exciting rematch. Let's go USA.
People are saying that?
Many people are saying that.
I love that since Jarrett took over social studies, he kind of made it antisocial. Just,
right?
Like not even mentioning
it's hard
who chimes in.
Well,
it is when you do it on the fly, but leading up to the segment, there, a little legwork and prep can go a long way, I think.
Well, do you want me to pay? I have to pay attention to the show as well.
You don't do that either.
Well, it's a little, that's fair.
Yeah, the burrito isn't going to eat itself. I know,
Pool
Jared.
Manchu. Pool Manchu. Do you want me to quote? How about I quote the great Pool Manchu while we're at it?
He took the time to respond to the show.
Pool Manchu on Blue Sky says, I've been pretty interested. It's a fun watch with an Olympic feel. It's also the only hockey I've watched since losing the Coyotes. So it's something which is kind of, I think, how we all are. We haven't really been sort of following much NHL this year, so it's nice to get back into some hockey.
Yeah, it's hockey that's not depressing for the Arizona fan. How about that?
There you go.
Certainly, that's the way I feel. Thanks, Jarrett.
You're welcome.
Social studies every day at 9 o'clock. You might get your name mentioned.
We have great
People are saying.
People are saying you might get your name mentioned.
If we get to it and off the grid, the question about being scammed has some cool answers.
Oh,
too.
good.
Okay. I think we probably have some cool answers to that, too.
Many people said a lot of things on that.
It's the most exact segment on radio. Social Studies with Jarrett Carlin. Coming up next, we'll get a check-in after 1 year of the 12-team college football playoff. The executive director of the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, Erik Moses, joins us for Newsmakers Week next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
50 to the players, 25. I'll go 25 and 25. I'll be that fair. 25% to the coach, 25% to the front office. I'm going to keep it simple. Tell me why. There's no way in the world that a team with the talent of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker should be 2 games under 500 and in 10th place.
I had it 40-30-30. 40 players, 30% coaching, 30% front office.
Okay.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
If you love pizza and basketball, you should mark your calendars for the night of Wednesday, March 12th. There's something going on that you might want to know about. Hey, it's Vince Murata. That night is the next Phoenix Suns watch party at Spinato's Pizzeria Gilbert location. It's their newest location at Agritopia. Beautiful location. Suns will be taking on the Rockets, and you can see all the action on big screen TVs. And the Gorilla and the Suns dancers will be there. You'll have the chance to win game tickets, gift cards, and other great prizes. But it's also the next divisional round of the Spinato's Pizza Competition. That's right. You can show off your shooting skills, and if you win the competition, you'll get tickets to the Suns' April 11th home game and a shot on the court during a timeout. You make that, you win Spinato's Pizza for a year. You can get all the info on the watch party, reserve your table, and register for the pizza competition at SpinatosPizzeria.com. It is going to be a blast. Again, that's Wednesday, March 12th. Spinato's Pizzeria, food that brings people together.
Hey, you. I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LANZESS.
Healthy hearts love longer. They let you be there for all of life's most precious moments, big and small. That's why the expert cardiologists at Dignity Health never miss a beat. They work alongside a cardiology care team to guide you through whatever comes your way. It's our job to keep your heart in tip-top shape so you can be there for whatever greatness comes next. Find your doctor today at dignityhealth.org/azheart. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Lowe's knows how to help you get the most out of your store run. That's why members save more with My Lowe's Rewards. Earn points towards My Lowe's money on eligible purchases. Get access to member-only deals and free member gifts. Plus, unlock free standard shipping when you reach Silver Key status. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings.
We continue Newsmakers Week, Day 3, 2025 here on Bickley and Marotta Mornings. It is our pleasure, as always, it always is, to be joined by the executive director of the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, Erik Moses, who joins us in studio, bearing gifts again. Coffee, drinks, for all.
You didn't bring Larry Fitzgerald with you, did you? I don't have to look over my back.
I did not. He would have already started in on you by now, so you would have known he was here.
Just get material from Larry for your next visit.
I should. That's a good idea. Talk to his writers. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So we're past it now. We talked to you a lot leading up to the first Verbo Fiesta Bowl as part of the 12-team playoff. We saw the results, crowned a national champion. What was the biggest thing in your role from your office that you learned from that whole first-year process, Erik?
I think when you give more opportunity to more schools and more fan bases, it just makes the entire postseason a bigger deal. You know, we were all paying attention to the regular season because now you didn't have to throw your hands up when your team lost one game.
Right.
We can't possibly compete for a national championship. And so that built, I think, the tension and the storylines throughout the whole season. And then getting Indiana in and, you know, SMU and bringing in some of these maybe dormant fan bases that are now excited.
Yeah.
I mean, we're old enough to know what SMU used to be back in the day with the Pony Express, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so,
it was all above board. Too.
Yeah. Well, no, they were before their time. They understood NIL before their time.
They originated it. Yeah.
They perfected it. So, excuse me. So I think bringing more people into the excitement of college football and its postseason is a good thing for the enterprise. And it's a good thing for us. And lest I forget, ASU's run.
How about it?
Fantastic.
That should be the tide that raises all local boats here, right? And we were certainly excited about it. Only thing that could have gone better is for them to have played in our game.
That's right.
But to make certain that everybody listening understands, that wasn't my choice.
No.
It was the CFP's choice. But what Kenny is doing over there and Graham is fantastic. And again, more excitement around college football.
Totally agree with you. And we know that there's not going to be any further expansion immediately. But the seeding issue, obviously, the Big Ten and the SEC, they're commissioners got together and discussed this. What's happening with that?
So I think there will be some changes to that. I do think 1 year of data is not enough to make any kind of insightful changes to a brand new system. And so I would expect them to give it another year and see how it goes. And then I think in 26, everything's kind of up for grabs. I think you see an expansion to no more than probably 4 additional teams. I think the Big Ten and the SEC flex their muscles in terms of automatic qualifiers to get their teams in. And I think we may see a shuffling in the seeding. I mean, it didn't quite seem right that Oregon, you're undefeated, you run the table all year long, and what do you get? Ohio State, you know, here you go. Right. I mean, so I think there will be some tweaking there.
Yeah.
Erik Moses, the executive director of the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, our guest here during Newsmakers Week. I'd love to know, too, about any discussions you've had and findings or commenting in conversations with your colleagues around college football about what happened this year. I know it's only a 1-year sample size, and people were saying, even during the middle of the playoffs, we need to tweak this. And a lot of people said, well, let's see how it goes. But specifically, the first-round on-campus games, those teams, as it worked out, seemingly had an advantage. You had 4 conference champions that got the bye that all lost in that round. How much of a concern is that moving forward, or do you just chalk it up to happenstance in year one?
I think it's a little bit of happenstance. If you talk to ADs and head coaches, they want home games, right? They want to play in front of a home crowd. I am still, Scott and I both still thawing out from being in Happy Valley in December when it was like 9 degrees to watch that SMU game. But 106,000 people in that building for a first-round game is pretty exciting. And so I think coaches and ADs will push to continue to have that advantage if they've earned it. And, you know, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
And also the bye week element that turned out to not be a reward. It turned out to look like it was a penalty because, you know, there's a lot of time off already built into this system.
It's interesting, Dan, because you look at the momentum ASU had at the end of the season, and it was kind of like, oh, all right, these guys, it's clicking on all cylinders right now. Like, they're ready. And so having that time off, I wonder if that adversely affected them. Now, the other side of that is, and you hear this from coaches a lot, now that the teams are playing more games, you got to get healthy. It's the end of the season. Everybody's banged up. And so if you can give a player who's kind of banged up a little bit more time, a week or 2 more to heal, maybe you're at your best. That's what the Boise State guys told us. They said, this is the healthiest Ashton has been the entire season since the beginning of the season. And so, I mean, you know, Penn State did what Penn State does, but still, at least you're at full strength.
Those 2 schools coming in for the Fiesta Bowl, Penn State and Boise State, and no strangers. Obviously, Penn State's got a rich Fiesta Bowl history. Boise State does as well. But specifically, last December leading into January, what did those fan bases bring to the whole party?
I think, you know, thank goodness there weren't any bank robbers or anything in Idaho, because I think the whole state of Idaho was here in the valley. They just could have wiped out the whole state. We were so pleased with what Boise State did. I mean, they're so excited. They have 3 of our beautiful Fiesta Bowl trophies up there in their facility in Idaho, and they brought a huge contingent. Penn State did well, but not as well from a traveling party kind of perspective as you might expect a school of that size in the Big Ten. And I'll tell you from personal experience, I have a very dear friend, went to Penn State, lives in Pennsylvania. We used to work together in D.C. I offered her husband, and her son tickets. And she said, the travel fare, like the airfare would kill us. So these airlines jack the prices when they know who's playing in what games and target those markets. And so this is the thing that we've talked about. My fear for fans who now may be facing 5 postseason games, right? If you're Penn State, you went to the Big Ten championship. That's 1. First round, thankfully, that's at home, but still, you got to pay for it. Quarterfinal, and if you win that, semifinal, and then national championship, that's 5 postseason games. Yeah. Like, that's a lot of money. I don't care how big a booster you are. Like, that's a lot of money and a lot of planning.
Yeah.
So I say that to say Penn State did well, but there was was a lot of orange and blue in that stadium.
Yeah, it's funny because LeVar Arrington, when he rolled into town, I was listening to him, and he was like, man, we're in trouble. There's nobody from Happy Valley here.
That's my guy.
They brought their football. Oh, yeah, he's too cool. All right, so next year you guys are going to have an interesting deal because it's a semifinal next year.
Yep.
Which means you're going to get your opponents on the fly. You're going to have to hustle.
7 days.
7
days notice. Like, we'll know when the brackets come out, the 6 potential teams that could play in our game, but I can't promote 6 teams, right?
Nice.
So 7 days after the 2 quarterfinals are done that feed our semifinal. And so, again, this is why I'm going to bang this drum a lot, and you guys are going to get sick of me saying this. We need the state of Arizona and the Valley to support this game so it continues to be one of the preeminent games in college football. We need people to say, I don't care who's playing in that game. I'm going to be there because I know it's going to be a fantastic game, and I'm going to see a team or 2 teams who are pursuing a national championship. 7 days is a short period for us to turn around.
Right.
And given the other challenges we've already talked about with travel and everything, you just can't rely on teams bringing 20,000 fans into town because those fans are looking at doing that multiple times in a postseason.
It's true. It's a great point.
Erik Moses, the executive director of the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. I'm having trouble saying that. I mean, you need more coffee. He joins us in studio.
Well, he brought you coffee, so you're good.
I know.
We got to get him in a Verbo, then he'll remember, you know. We'll work on that.
We just came off the WM Phoenix Open, and their motto going into this year was better, not bigger. What does and bigger is a relative term when it comes to a college football bowl game, but what does better look like for the Fiesta Bowl moving forward in your mind?
You know, I think it will require us to do more around the game, right? You know, and Scott and I and others on our team have had this conversation a lot. Our appeal to local people, like I just made, can't just be the only way you can support us is to buy game tickets. We want you to do that, but we've got to have other ways to get you involved in the excitement of bowl week and bowl season. And so building ancillary events like the bowl used to have back in the day, whether those are concerts or galas or, you know, luncheons or dinners or things of that nature that people can come out, feel like they're rubbing elbows with folks in college football and college football luminaries, and just being part of that excitement. So I think it looks like that. It always looks like better execution kind of at the stadium. We get rave reviews, and I'm not saying this to be self-serving, but we get rave reviews from the teams that participate in our games, always have. This bowl game has had a fantastic reputation nationally for that. And so we know we do it right, but we've got to build on the excitement. Not quite WM Phoenix Open kind of excitement. We won't be at that scale, but in the same way that people go to that golf tournament because it's an experience, not because they're there to watch golf. Like, I've been 3 years in a row. I don't think I've ever seen anyone hit a golf shot. So
you're not alone.
You're one
man.
of us, Erik.
You're not alone, brother. That's a very common refrain.
But I love it.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, that's true. The experience is what matters.
That's right. Erik, thanks so much for making time for us today.
Best,
Always great to have you in studio. Scott, thanks.
No matter what your
thanks to you
sister
as well
says.
And she says a lot. You guys are the best in the business. Appreciate you.
Best of luck moving forward, and we'll talk to you soon. Erik Moses, the executive director of the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, joining us in studio for Newsmakers Week, which continues. We'll have a chat with Arizona Wildcats head basketball coach Tommy Lloyd next. Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
All-Star break over. It's over. Now the Suns meet the Spurs in San Antonio. CP3 and Wemby joined by De'Aaron Fox, so the Spurs got stronger after that trade, which is great for the Western Conference where the Suns are concerned. Fantastic. Will the Suns be able to contain Wemby, Fox, and the Spurs? Is everyone on the Suns healthy? Is everyone on the Suns cool after some folks almost got traded? Suns at the Spurs, 6:30 pregame, 7:30 tip right here. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. If you do not like your smile, if you do not like your teeth, if it makes you afraid to take pictures, you are certainly not alone, and I've got some really good news for you. New Life Dental Implant Center, revolutionizing the way people think about dental implants. They're making it easier, faster, more affordable than ever. They offer amazing quality, unbeatable prices, great convenience. Everything is done in one location. You're not bouncing around the valley for different appointments. They've got an in-house in-house laboratory, which means faster turnarounds. The entire process is 100% digital, which means your implants are going to turn out perfect. There is no human error. New Life Dental Implant Center, though, truly vibing on being the most affordable option you are going to find. In fact, through the end of the month, currently offering all-on-4 dental implants for just $99.90 per arch. That is a great price. There are no hidden fees, no surprise costs, 0% financing available. You can get that brand new smile, a life-changing smile, for about $350 a month. Find out more by calling 602-855-0000 or online at newsmilearizona.com.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then. 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
If you're feeling overwhelmed by the thought of a home remodel, don't stress. The Window Depot is here to help. At the Window Depot, we're your one-stop warehouse for everything you need for your next remodel. Windows? Check. Doors? Got it. Cabinets, countertops, and everything in between, you'll find it all here at the lowest prices. Whether it's a kitchen, bathroom, or whole home makeover, our experienced designers are ready to bring your dream home to life, all at unbeatable prices. Find a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Making choices in the morning can be a bit much. I just want someone to say sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, sausage and cheese or egg and cheese English muffin, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Get 2 for only $3. At Wendy's, fresh made food means simple choices. Dare we say it's even a little fun? Okay, not like roller coaster fun. There's only so much we can do, people. When you want less thinky and more brekky in the morning, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
In Arizona, air conditioning isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And when it breaks down, who can you trust? At Precision Air and Plumbing, we take the guesswork out of AC repair with our revolutionary technology, Precision Link. Precision Link performs a complete diagnostic, grading every part of your system. No opinions, no guesswork, no upsells, just honest answers. For AC service you can trust, make the precision decision today. Call us at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Hey, it's Pat. The other day at work, they brought in pizza for lunch, so I swooped in and I grabbed 3 slices. The coworker next to me said, "Geez, Pat, you can't have it all." Then I corrected him and said, "Yeah, I can, and you can too." With a new 2025 Toyota truck, power and performance, capability and reliability. Well, I must have convinced him because he grabbed the plate out of my hand and he said, "Good point, Pat."
Right now, get 1.99% financing for 72 months on a new 2025 Tundra SR or SR5. Or get 4.99% 60-month financing on a new 2025 Camry or Tacoma. Plus, check out great lease deals on any new Toyota. Visit your Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com today. Toyota, let's go places. 1.99% with $14.75 per thousand borrowed for 72 months. 4.99% with $18.87 per thousand borrowed for 60 months. 0 down payment if you qualify. Offers end 3/3/25. See dealer for details.
I'm Fred Khalil with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Tonight, it's the final of the Four Nations tournament between Team USA and Canada in Boston. Face-off at the TD Garden is 6 p.m. The U.S. won the first meeting in Montreal 3-1 on Saturday. The Suns are back on the floor tonight, taking on the Spurs in Austin, Texas. Forward Kevin Durant, who played his year of college basketball for the University of Texas, should get a nice welcome from the fans there, where he is still a favorite. The Suns' debut of Cody Martin is going to have to wait. Martin has a sports hernia. And Spurs big man Victor Wembanyama is doubtful with an undisclosed illness. You can hear all the action here on Arizona Sports 98.7 with a 7:30 tip-off. The Cubs and Dodgers open the spring training schedule today at Camelback Ranch. The two will open the regular season in Japan. And the Diamondbacks play tomorrow. Corbin Burns will be on the mound for the D-backs. The 4-time All-Star and former Cy Young winner signed a 6-year, $210 million deal with the D-backs in the offseason. This report is brought to you by APS. Visit APS Solutions for Business for your ways to help your business make smarter use of energy while saving money. Schedule a free consultation today.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Newsmakers Week with Bickley and Marotta Mornings.
Yeah, we roll on with Newsmakers Week, day 3 on this Thursday. It's our pleasure to be joined by the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats basketball program, Tommy Lloyd, who checks in on the Arizona Sports Line. Coach, good morning.
Tommy.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Doing well. I was commenting off the air when we saw that you were going to be on with us, and the last time we talked was in December, leading up to the UCLA game that you guys played here in Phoenix, a game that didn't go your way. And after that game, you were 4-5, and I think the uh-oh meter was pretty high for a lot of people. And since then, 14-3 in your last 17 games. I mean, what's been the biggest difference through your eyes to see that turnaround from your team, Tommy?
Well, first off, I mean, I love it how you start out with a gut punch. You're going right at us.
He's a Sun Devil.
He's a Sun Devil, Tommy.
I didn't even.
It was a love tap, Tommy. It was a love tap.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, anyways, you know what? Hey, here's the deal. You always got to own your reality. Our reality was we were 4-5. And, you know, whether we were a good team or not had yet to be determined. You know, we kind of got punched a little bit early and just lost our way. And some of them were close games. It could have went either way. But I knew we had a really good squad. And I knew we just had to kind of get back, get our feet on the ground, and kind of start from square one. And I'm really proud of the guys. You know, I mean, you talk about being 4-5, and obviously the season's not done by any stretch. So there's lots of good things and bad things that can still happen. But, you know, a couple weeks ago they do the selection show. You know, the NCAA kind of announces the top 4 seeds, right?
Uh-huh.
It's kind of one of the things, you know, whatever. It's our version of the BCS deal, right? And so, you know, we were 3 seed in the tournament. And I thought, you know what? I mean, I don't know if we'll end up being a 3 seed, but to come that far over a 2-month period, I think says a lot about our program and a lot about our guys. So I was really proud of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I, for one, never doubted, because you're a great coach, you've got a great program, and you were a big Beastie Boys fan, still are. So I certainly would never doubt a Beastie Boys fan.
Yeah, no, hey, I was actually, I'm probably a little short of breath because I squeezing in my morning workout my wife's making me do. I mean, I guess she does not think that if my stomach sticks out past my chest, it's a good look. So we're trying to get things right down here in Tucson. But I did start out the morning with some Beastie Boys.
Nice.
So a great way to start the day.
Nice. All right, so talk about some of your observations going through the Big 12 and what it's been like, and has it been what you thought it would be?
It's been awesome. You know, honestly, it's been really enjoyable. It has been what I thought I'd be, which is incredibly challenging. You know, you're looking at every night. It's a great atmosphere, you know, home or away. You're looking at teams that have other really good players, and even though their records might not look like it is, and maybe it's, I don't know, 4-7 or something like that, when you go play them at their place, it's on. And so it's been awesome. It's been an awesome challenge. Every one of our games feels like it comes down to the wire, and I think that's just been really good for our guys. And obviously you're hoping it's going to pay dividends in March, but I think it's been really good for me as a coach. You know, one of the things in college, you know, that we don't get enough of, you know, the NBA plays so many more games. They get so many more in-game situations, so many more clock management situations that I think that's great to develop your coaching and great for players. So we're getting a lot more of those, and I'm incredibly grateful for them. They're not all going our way, but I think all in all, I think we're getting better at it, and I think hopefully as we continue to move forward, we'll get more comfortable in these tight games.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Lloyd, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, our guest here on Bickley and Marotta Mornings. One player I wanted to ask you about specifically who's playing a bigger role as the season has gone on, coming off the bench, and ASU fans will agree with me when I say he was huge in the win over the Sun Devils in Tempe. Henry Vesar has been just enormous for you. How much has he meant to this season turnaround, Tommy?
It's been a lot. You know, Henry came as a highly touted recruit, you know, a couple of years ago, and we were really counting on him his freshman year. And you know, it just goes to show that, you know, sometimes maybe the timing's just not right, whether it's, you know, maybe the player's ready, but the opportunity's not there in the program. Maybe the program's ready, but the player's not ready for him to step up. So I think there has to be a little stick-to-it-iveness on both sides, the team side and the player side, to make sure that there is going to be alignment at some point. And there's alignment now. Henry has an opportunity. We had an injury to one of our big guys, Mo Crevis, to start out the year, who's a really good player. He's out for the season. And Henry's now in his third year, and Henry was injured last year, So he had to sit out last year. So he was ready for this opportunity, and he's got some game experience now, and he's become a really good player, and I'm really proud of him. Because I honestly still think that's what college basketball is all about is, 18, 19, 20-year-old guys getting better. And so when that happens, it brings a lot of joy to me.
Tommy, I know things got kind of crazy the last time you guys were in Tempe and played Arizona State. I thought you showed a lot of great self-control and poise to not get kind of drawn into that thing. Bobby told us afterwards that he did reach out to you and have a conversation with you. Are you two guys all good after what went down?
We've never been anything but good. That rival is really an external thing, for a lot of people. For me, I'm going to be honest with you. I know the game has a little extra meaning, but we don't put a ton of extra stock in it because, you win or lose against Arizona State 2 days later, you got a game.
Yeah.
So in basketball, you got to keep it moving. And, Bobby called me the next day and was awesome on the phone. I appreciate his friendship and, we never had a problem. Things happen in the moment. And to be honest with you, we don't need to rehash everything. But I thought he made a great decision, just taking his players off the court and in that moment when things were getting chippy on both sides. Because that would have been he and I would be fine no matter what. But if something happened between our programs on the floor with a player losing his mind, I don't think that would be a good look for either institution or the state of Arizona. So I got no problem, no beef. And to be honest with you, I haven't even thought of it at 1 second until you just brought it up.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Lloyd, the head coach of Arizona Wildcats, our guest here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Your next game, a tough one. BYU's coming off a really, really solid win over Kansas where Bill Self said the Cougars would have beat anybody in the country on that night. I know you got them earlier. How big is that game for you coming up on Saturday in Tucson, Tommy?
Well, it's really big. You're down to, I think it's the 16th game or something of a conference of a 20-game schedule. So things are coming down to the wire, and you're kind of getting an idea what the standings potentially could look like heading into the postseason. So it's a big game for us. And, we got BYU there. It was a really even game, and we just kind of made a run at the right time, which, that equates to winning. But here by no means does that mean it's going to have carryover here. And obviously they look great against Kansas, and I don't think BYU is lost since we played. And it feels like every team we're playing right now is on a 3 or 4 game winning streak coming into our game. So, so challenge accepted. We look forward to Saturday and know it'll be a great atmosphere. And, and they have an amazing atmosphere at Provo, for those that don't know it. It's like 20,000 people going crazy and very well organized. And so hopefully our Tucsonians and our U of A fans can come out and show them a great atmosphere as well.
Yeah, no, it looks like there's no catching Houston now for the number 1 seed in the conference tournament, but you guys have a good hold on 2. I'm just curious, you talked about how your basketball team has kind of rallied recently. What are the next steps? What would you like to see them do?
Well, listen, you know how there's no catching Houston? If you focus on anything but your next game. And the way you do catch Houston is what if they stub their toe? They're human just like all the rest of us. So, we haven't ruled out any possibilities, of where we could end up in the standings. But the only control we have is winning our next game. So sorry to cut you off there. No. Here's the deal. We ain't giving up hope on nothing. And we're scratching and clawing and obviously, we feel good about how we played in the Big 12. I think that Kansas State game was winnable. I thought the Houston game was very winnable. But, you got to give credit to your opponents for getting the job done.
Mm-hmm. Tommy, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for coming back on the show. We really appreciate you spending time with us today.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Tommy Lloyd, head coach of the Arizona Wildcats. My wife doesn't think my stomach sticking out past my chest is a good look. That's pretty funny stuff.
That's fantastic.
He joined us.
Why don't you like that guy, Jarrett?
He hung up already. No.
I'm kidding.
Full disclosure, Jarrett didn't like Tommy Lloyd in December.
When they were losing.
Now,
I like him now. Great
huge
coach.
Fan.
Here, the thing I will say, though, his demeanor is the exact opposite of what Sean Miller's was. This guy's very positive. He's always very calm with the players and stuff.
Yeah.
And Sean Miller was a maniac and miserable.
You know what else is opposite? We just talked to Tommy Lloyd
Right,
on
exactly.
the show.
2 years in a row.
Yeah. We've had him on twice this year.
Yeah.
Also very opposite. No, thanks to Tommy Lloyd for joining us. Some final thoughts on this Thursday straight ahead. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
Would it benefit the Arizona Cardinals to have a wide receiver, a veteran wide receiver, like an Amari Cooper, who has actually done some things in this league?
I feel like it would immensely. It takes some of the pressure off Marvin Harrison Jr., but I don't want that to make it sound like you're okay with him being your number 2 receiver at that point. You still need him to be like a bona fide, no questions asked number 1 receiver.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey, it's Gambo. Back to tell you about the Schwartz Laser Eye Center. Dr. Jay Schwartz did the LASIK surgery on my eyes over 15 years ago, and to this day, my vision has never been better. I see great at night, in the day, up close, far away, no glasses, no readers, and this is 15 years later. Dr. Schwartz offers the best in advanced LASIK technology, as well as other surgical laser procedures, such as the clear lens exchange and the EVO ICL. Whether it's nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism, or any other eye care issues, the Schwartz Laser Eye Center can help improve your vision and change your life as he did mine. There is a reason he is the official eye doctor for the Phoenix Suns and Arizona Diamondbacks. The Schwartz Laser Eye Center has 3 valley-wide locations, one in Glendale, one in Scottsdale, and one in Mesa. Schedule your free LASIK evaluation by calling 480-483-EYES. That's 480-483-EYES, or going online at teamidoc.com.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Hey, Wolf here from my brothers and sisters at Santan Ford. That's right, you've heard me talking about my Santan Ford F-150 and the Warrior Queens Expedition and how we are Santan Ford. Well, if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, do yourself a favor. Go check out the hundreds of new and used vehicles at Santan Ford. Located at the Santan 202 in Val Vista in Gilbert, Tim Hovick and the great team at Santan Ford will take care of you. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford.
Born in the birthplace of tequila, Estrella Jalisco is the golden Mexican Pilsner with roots in Jalisco, Mexico since 1910. The finest ingredients are always used to deliver a smooth and flavorful taste with a crisp finish that leaves you refreshed. We're proud to bring you this authentic and delicious Mexican beer, perfect for pairing with food and enjoying with friends. Estrella Jalisco, official cerveza partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
So you're in pretty decent shape, but
Okay, as we get older, we lose a step. Totally natural part of being a guy. And at Vital for Men, we got your back by helping you get it back. Testosterone replacement therapy is designed to make you feel powerful, sharp, and renewed. Get started today with a free test at one of our 3 Valley-wide locations. And on top of that, we're excited to offer semaglutide to support your health journey even further. Visit Vital4Men.com today. Vital, the number 4men.com. It's time to get it back.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Murata. Song of the day. Brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. And off the grid. Brought to you by Sweet James Accident Attorneys. If you've been hurt in an accident, call Sweet James at 800-500-5200 or sweetjames.com.
All right, speaking of the city that had a basketball team that drafted Kevin Durant in 2007, the Seattle Supersonics, there's all kinds of hot and heavy rumors about the Sonics coming back. And Adam Silver was just at All-Star Weekend talking about really didn't have anything to advance the story on expansion. It's always on the radar. Nothing is imminent at this point.
Right.
People believe the Sonics are coming back to Seattle, as well they should. Bruce Harrell, the Seattle mayor, did you see this?
No.
He was giving his State of the City address. And he said this during the State of the City address.
Right now, at this moment, I have an announcement to make.
So he reaches down, picks up a basketball from the podium, and starts spinning it in his hands.
I'm just kidding. I got you. Okay. It's a long speech. I had to break it up a little bit here.
He's the only one laughing at that.
I'm not a Sonics fan, and I've poked fun at Seattle's a great city, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I would be so irate if I was a fan and wanted the Sonics to come back after that, to the point where, sorry, you're not getting reelected.
No.
If you think the last 24 hours haven't been damage control and him throwing his speechwriters and team under the bus, then you'd be wrong. Because that's exactly what
I didn't see the follow-up.
Yes.
Is that what he's been doing?
He said it wasn't, he didn't write that joke. His team member suggested it, and he never would have teased the fans that way.
Well, I mean, I can somewhat relate. on those show teases that sneak up on me without checking them. Sometimes I read what you wrote, Jarrett, and I'm like, I immediately regret this.
Yes. Or when I start reading a social studies answer. Okay, so I get it.
Yeah, that is not reading the city very well. Another thing that's going on is with All-Star Weekend just wrapping up and everybody talking about how to improve the NBA. So much complaining about three-point shots. Clinton Yates, who does a show on ESPN Radio, Clinton and Friends, he had open phones on this topic. I want to get your reaction to this caller's suggestion.
Right. Jesse in California. Let's see what this is about.
Hey there. How's it going? Good morning.
Pretty good. You're on the air.
So I think I just solved the problem with the NBA. Let's make dunks worth 3 points also. You're going to have to define what a dunk is, but let's make dunks worth 3 points also. We want the inside game again. I'm bored with the NBA. I've been watching all my life. I'm 56 years old. I'm a Warriors fan, and I think that's what we do.
Okay. Thanks for the phone call.
And then they went on to say, it's astounding how much I don't hate this idea. Do you hate this idea, Beck? Talk about a substantial change to the game.
Listen,
it would even things out.
At first take, when you mentioned this to me, I thought, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then I started thinking about this, and you pointed out, well, that would solve the reliance on the over-reliance on three-point shots.
It would certainly stop Kevin Hart from on All-Star Weekend yelling at Chuck Barkley to sit him down. The big man keeps shooting the three. That development would stop. Or would it? Or would you just see guys be adept at both?
That is just, it's something that's really hard to get your brain around.
I mean, it would totally skew and skewer the scoring.
So did the three-point shot when it was introduced in 1979. How many threes did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar make?
You want
in
to
his
hear all
career?
the old heads start complaining? Shaq and stuff saying,
"Oh yeah,
I would have averaged 70 points a game.
I would have been the all-time leading scorer
right.
in the NBA. If dunks were worth 3 points when I played."
Other basketball news, by the way. Bobby Portis, Milwaukee Bucks, suspended 25 games for violation of the league's anti-drug policy. He said he had an elbow injury. He took an anti-inflammatory that was not on the list without checking. And boom.
This is Ryan Braun all over again. Suns win the championship that year. Take it back.
It's a long lingering elbow injury. Thanks to James Jones, Willie Bloomquist, Erik Moses, Tommy Lloyd. We'll catch you tomorrow. Wolf and Luke are up next.
The Cactus League is underway.
Now the 0-1 pitch. Swung on. That is absolutely crushed. Deep to right field. No doubter. Ketel Marte take a swim in the Allegheny.
Spring training coverage presented by Estrella Jalisco and Window Depot.